as long as I can somehow, some way, like help somebody make that extra step, I'm like, okay, cool. I feel satisfied. Even if I didn't get paid for it, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That's why I'm doing like the meal prep thing. That's why I'm doing training, because like I like seeing people get to where they want to go, you know?
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 37 of the Andrew Deitsch Podcast. I just felt like spelling my last name. I feel like most people don't know how to spell it. Welcome to the Andrew Deitsch Podcast. Here we go. Second episode of the week. We're doing much better than last week. I've got 5 episodes in the tank. About to record a 6th episode in about an hour. And it feels weird. I'm not going to lie. It's making me antsy. I got to release these bad boys. I've been doing some really long intros lately, and I'm just feeling really organic, really fresh this morning. And I'll try to spare you the long intro, but this one is super easy because this morning I have a very special guest for you all. And if you've been listening since day 1, you will remember Meal Prep Papi himself, Adam Kashoro. And Adam's a really close friend of mine. He runs a company called Meal Prep Papi that specializes in meal prep services. Let's be real. You probably don't have time to cook. And last time you tried to cook your meals for the week, they probably didn't taste very good. Maybe you ended up giving up halfway, or maybe you just straight up didn't know where to start. But Meal Prep Papi takes all the guesswork out of your meals, provides you with a straightforward meal plan designed especially for you. If you live in the Atlanta area, his company will prepare and deliver your weekly meals right to your doorstep. They have a very impressive list of clients ranging from professional athletes, working mothers, full-time students, you name it. If you want to buy personal training sessions with Adam or you want to order some meals, check out his website, mealpreppapi.com, for more details. Again, that is mealpreppapi.com, mealpreppapi.com. And Adam was my first guest on the very first episode of the Andrew Deitsch Podcast. And when I realized that this podcast was something that I really wanted to do, Adam was literally the very first person to cross my mind. I know we always have amazing conversations. And if you haven't listened to the first episode, I would encourage you to go back and listen because Adam was able to share more of his story. And I feel like that episode kind of flowed very nicely into this one, almost like a continuation of the same conversation. Something on the nation. It just felt like it rhymed. But yeah, go check out that first episode. Hopefully, almost 40 episodes later, I have improved a bit in my podcasting abilities. But in this episode, we chatted about all kinds of stuff and had a grand old time. So please give it up for my friend, Adam Kashoro. All right, we're live, dude.
What's the deal?
Adam Kashoro. Or Adam's just finishing his breakfast / brunch.
I'm brunching, bro. You guys even brunch? Alright.
Dude, brunch is actually like... It's gotten a lot of hype recently, but it's still an awesome meal.
No, to be honest, like, I tried brunching. I mean, like, is there certain things that are, like...
exclusive to brunch?
Yeah.
Dude, I forgot to turn my phone off. Or, like, at least silence it. Let me make sure.
Please activate all your devices.
I'm just being super amateur right now.
Oh, man, dog. Your boy's nervous.
What an amateur. Okay, powering down. Whoa, almost just dropped it into my mango juice. Nah, but is there food exclusive to brunch? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know what the hype is.
Because it's just like a hybrid of breakfast and lunch.
I feel like you're not brunching if you're not doing mimosas and like slightly like intoxicated.
I feel you. Yeah, because then it's just like, dude, bitch, just decide, is it breakfast or lunch?
Yeah.
Why are you calling it brunch?
Yeah. What the hell?
No, but my favorite food is eggs. So like anytime I'm eating anything slightly in the morning, I'm like, let's throw an egg on that. Let's put an egg in there somewhere.
Egg makes anything breakfast.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
But what is it about eggs? It's breakfast. Like in other countries, eggs have nothing to do with breakfast.
Straight up.
Like in Spain, they eat omelets for dinner.
So why is it like?
I don't know. I think it's a marketing thing. Somewhere in America, like that was one thing I heard about bacon. Like bacon wasn't necessarily selling too hot, and then all of a sudden, like this dude who was like a marketing guy came up with the idea, like, okay, there's not really like a breakfast meat. Let's make bacon like a breakfast meat and put commercials on TV showing people eating bacon for breakfast. And then like people just are like, oh yeah, bacon for breakfast. Yeah, it's tasty.
Everything
Smell
is
bacon
a
in the morning.
marketing scheme out here in America, dude.
It is pretty trippy how much persuasion the human brain takes just by watching other people do it on TV or whatever. We're just like, oh yeah, that's how it should be. Yeah, of course.
That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I do need a blanket with sleeves. I gotta buy that Snuggie.
Yeah. See, the TV is like one of the most powerful things. Like, all it is just like a marketing machine, I think. Because all it is just feeding you like how to look, feeding you what to buy. Like,
yeah.
I heard like, what is it, like toothpaste? Like, that was a whole marketing thing. It's just like a whole bunch of different things that are just shooting straight at you. And then all you do is just turn the TV on and it's like, what should I look like today? What should I buy now?
Well, one thing that Gary Vee always says is marketers ruin everything. Like, it wasn't like the scientists that created the TV were trying to figure out like, okay, let's figure out this. Like, they were spending so much time to figure out how can we get this image that we're displaying on this display broadcast to all these other displays. They weren't necessarily probably even thinking how they were going to make money or anything. But then as soon as somebody, like, it clicked for them, they're like, oh, this is just radio. Well, they had the radio. So it's basically like radio with images. So obviously, radio, they already had ads. But it was funny because also in the beginning of TV, they didn't know how to effectively advertise. And there were some companies, like I think there's a Barbie commercial where they did Barbie radio ads where it's just a guy reading about the Barbie, right? Like, the new Barbie has the pink Jeep and the blah, 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 blah. But the first TV ads for Barbie.
It's very accurate, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
Yeah. But the TV ads, the first TV ads they did for Barbie was literally a dude at a desk reading about the Barbie. Like, they didn't understand the concept of like, oh, we can show video of the Barbie and like show what it looks like. It was literally a guy behind the desk like, the new Barbie, and like doing the exact same thing as the radio. Just they hadn't figured out how to do TV
how to
yet.
Effectively do it. Yeah.
Yeah. And like now we're light years away from that. Now it just seems like such a no-brainer, but at the time they hadn't really seen what a video advertisement looked like. So they're just like, oh yeah, just do the radio ad, just show what the guy looks like.
This is my big break. No, I feel like as long as you're first at doing anything, so like back then, like how it was kind of like the Wild Wild West, no one knew how to like market and everything like that. That's where people really excel and they take off and become like super rich, or they just kind of like, I'm not gonna say flop, but they just don't get it, you know?
Yeah. And like people always want to do what's safe and what they already know. So like, yeah, it's safe to do like banner ads on somebody's website, but chances are no one's clicking that shit. Like, you know, okay, yeah, it's tried and true. You might get some business, but like, when's the last time you actually clicked on something because there was an ad on the sidebar of a website? Like,
never.
I never click that. My eyes automatically ignore it.
Yeah,
like
anything,
the sidebar of Facebook, I completely ignore it, never look at it. And then Facebook realized that, and they're like, okay, since they're not paying attention to the stuff on the sidebar, we gotta start putting stuff in people's news feeds. So now, subconsciously, you're always looking for that little thing that says sponsored right under the thing, and you're like, oh, that's just an ad. It's not my friend's thing.
Hey, sometimes it'll slip up.
Sometimes it'll slip up.
Yeah.
And Facebook is good about it because they know how to target you as a person. So they know, okay, Adam, he's into fitness, music festivals, eating clean, eating healthy. So they're going to target ads like towards that kind of stuff for
Trust me, I've been getting like ads of like new cooking appliances, like pans and shit, different types of like meal preps, like containers.
Different like
everything's coming
sex
at me.
toy. No, I'm just kidding.
The thick dildo I was talking about earlier. Damn it. I wanted that one off air.
There was at this place I work, one of the guys let this Facebook open one time, and so they went and liked all these like sex toy and dildo companies on his Facebook page. So like all of the ads that kept rolling in were about that.
It's just nonstop. Pussy pocket.
Yeah.
It's like, trust me, it's not me.
Oh no. Yeah. Your mom walks in while you're just browsing Facebook and that pops up and like, no, Mom.
You don't understand, my friend.
He sabotaged.
It's
amazing. It's amazing. But yeah, like Gary Vaynerchuk talks about that, where like anytime something new comes up where the eyeballs are, that's where marketers go.
Yeah.
So anytime there's something new where where tons of people are paying attention, some marketer somewhere is trying to figure out how to growth hack it and figure out how they can advertise. Like, Snapchat for a while, it was hard to like market on there, and they were still trying to figure out how to make money.
Honestly, I still don't. How do you market on there? I guess
as a like person, like for me marketing on there, it's mainly just all about cross promotion. Like, yo, go listen to my podcast or whatever like that. But also, there's this weird.
You've been really successful with the Snapchat world.
Thanks, man. Yeah. Like, the biggest thing for me about Snapchat is I don't make any money on Snapchat. But
dude, what is your Snapchat?
What is my Snapchat? If people want to listen, it's Andrew.Deitsch on Snapchat. Okay. And the spelling is just in the name of my podcast, so you can figure it out yourself. But like the biggest thing about Snapchat for me is like. It's all like micro content kind of, and most people, I try to reverse engineer it. So like if I click on somebody's story on Snapchat, I'm not trying to see them like smoking a blunt, like gang, or like doing some stupid like, oh yeah, we're at a bar, and like it's literally just like a circle of like what's going on in the bar. Like, okay, maybe, for a second I'll be entertained by that. But like if I'm watching some of my favorite people on Snapchat or whatever, it's normally they're going on like some cool adventure and they're like documenting like what's going on or whatever.
That keeps you in there, yeah.
It keeps you in. And I've been victim to making really way too long of Snapchats before, like 10-minute long Snapchat stories. But surprisingly, there's still people that go all the way to the end. Like it'll still have
I think your funniest one. The top two that I liked from you, because I follow you pretty. Like you're like my friend, and then your stuff is really funny.
Thanks, man.
Of course, like the Tomorrowland one, just because like I really wanted to go, and then you like made it fun too. So like you're showing like different stages, like informing people that were watching. So it was like, oh, this is like really cool. I really feel like I'm there. And then the other one was I think you were doing like an MTV Cribs or something like that. Dude, that was lit. Oh, did you please say you saved it?
I saved that one.
That was so.
And it was in that like mansion.
Yes,
dude.
Did you have like a bottle of hot sauce or something? I couldn't stop.
It was like Worcestershire sauce or something, or horseradish or something weird.
Like each time I was like, man, like this is getting funnier and funnier. Like I couldn't stop watching it.
And Uncrustables. I had Uncrustables and like something else. Oh, dude, my God.
It just seemed so original. I was like, man, this is hilarious, dude.
Yeah, shout out to my friend Brendan. We were at this, at my friend Graham's going away party, and everyone had kind of crashed or like gone home or whatever, and it was at this guy's stepdad's house. He had this like really big house, and me and my friend Brendan were just like, yo, we should like do something funny. And I was like, dude, we should make like an MTV Cribs version of this house, because like we got this house right now at our disposal. We could like make something funny.
Yeah.
And then it just escalated from there, and it just got funnier and funnier and funnier.
That's all it takes. You need one creative friend or just someone that's like just as weird, and it's like, all right, let's make this let's make this happen.
Yeah, and the funniest part was like we had the best time making it. Like it was so funny. That was actually it's funny because that was actually the day before my birthday, and then like that night I launched my podcast, and you were the first episode.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah, so that was like yo, we made this crazy MTV Cribs thing, and then it was like, yo, I'm releasing my podcast. So that was actually pretty recent.
Oh, snap. I didn't know. I didn't realize it was like back to back like that.
Yeah, it was. It was like that night I like made the announcement that my podcast was coming out that day or whatever. Because it was like the next day was my birthday.
I need that snap.
Yeah, dude.
That was really
I will
funny.
send anybody who wants to see it. I'll put it up on my. Should I put it up on my Facebook? Sure, I'll put it up on my Facebook.
Just be like a throwback, because that was way too funny, man.
It was hilarious, and also the main thing that I was worried about is the guy whose house it was, like seeing the Snapchat and getting mad, because like he didn't know that there was a party being thrown at his house. He might have known.
X.
He might have known that. Yeah, exactly. It was like Project X. Not really. It was like 15, 20 people over, but still.
Sure it was.
But like I was like in this dude's closet wearing like his bathrobe and like messing with his bidet and stuff, and like in his bedroom straight up.
He has no idea.
Yeah, the best snap was when I was looking at the bidet and it like that little arm comes out and like sprayed up. I lost it at that. I thought that was the funniest thing for whatever reason. I don't know why. But it was literally like you press a button and this little like droid would come out and spray your butt cheeks.
You're just like, ooh. Dude, that needs to go up. Everybody go take a look at that.
I'm going to go put it up on Facebook as a throwback because that is... You're right. It's too funny not to share.
Yeah, because I was like debating. I was like, should I just delete Andrew on Snap? And then you like say, no, I'm kidding. No, you saved yourself, man.
You're like, man, he's been putting out some like really terrible content recently, and then you redeemed yourself.
Nah, man.
I said I'll give him 60 days,
and you did it. You delivered, buddy.
You delivered. You had this Tomorrowland snaps and the MTV Cribs snaps.
You're cool with me.
It's it.
Dude, how was Tomorrowland? Let's hear about that. I haven't even talked to you since it.
Yeah, so obviously saw the Snapchats. Tomorrowland was hella lit, as the kids say. But like 8 months ago, I feel like if I heard myself say hella lit, I'd be like, what is he even saying?
What the fuck?
But no, seriously.
I still say it though. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I just said it. I just said it. It's lit. But yeah, so I went to Tomorrowland last year. So I tend to go into things with like not really having expectations. I think like people always have way too many expectations, and then that just sets themselves up for being disappointed, you know? Yeah. So like if I was thinking like, oh, it's going to be so different this year, there's going to be all, you know, a lot of the stuff is the same, you know? But I have to say it's still the best music festival I've ever been to.
Okay.
Hands down.
And I feel like you've been to
I've been to at least 20, 25 music festivals, something like that, you know. I've been to, you know, small festivals like the original Counterpoint in Atlanta, EDC Orlando. I've been to Ultra. I've been to Ultra Croatia. I've been to Tomorrowland. I've been to Tomorrow World. I've been around.
Yeah.
I've been to a lot of festivals. And the only other like massive one that I haven't been to is EDC Las Vegas, but you know, I've heard a lot of stuff about EDC Las Vegas, and
I guess like you said though, like you still shouldn't go in there with any expectations. Kind of like
exactly.
You don't want to let anybody persuade you the wrong way.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I think a lot of people go in with the expectations that, like, for example, all the stages will be all brand new. Or something like that. Okay. And there's a lot of stages that are the same from previous years. Because, I mean, it's a lot of money to make a whole new stage and just, like, throw away the old stage. Mm-hmm. So, you know, what I've heard from about Tomorrowland is they typically will keep a stage for 2 to 3 years and then switch it out with something else, something new. So, like, there was a lot of new stages, which was awesome. And, I mean... For instance, EDC Orlando, pretty big festival. It's only got 3 stages, and the main stage changed this past year, and the secondary stage changed. But I don't think the third stage. I can't remember. But you know, like they only have 3 stages to really like switch up.
Yeah.
You know, but Tomorrowland has like 19 stages.
Yeah, so it's kind of like there's so much that I feel like they don't even have to really change that often if they don't feel like it just because there's so many.
No. And the thing that's amazing about it is they are like relentlessly trying to improve, even if they're not necessarily like making a new stage or whatever, because they had some crazy new stages.
Dude,
like some of the new stages.
How was that bathroom stage with Beyonce? Dude, Andrew sent this snap of like there's like a bathroom stage or like some guy just like it looked like an ice cream truck.
Dude, apparently, yes, it was like a little ice cream truck with some CDJs on it, and this guy was DJing at the bathrooms. Apparently, Afrojack came and DJ'd at the bathroom DJ stand for like 20 minutes or something. And like at first people didn't even realize it was him and stuff. And then like as soon as they realized, it was like a giant crowd. But yeah, that little bathroom DJ is hilarious because it's on a portable cart. So apparently they'll like go to one bathroom one day for like a couple hours, and then they'll drive their little cart to another bathroom. So like at certain bathrooms throughout the day, there's literally like a DJ.
That's kind of dope, man. They like don't stop out there.
They really don't. And
I thought it'd be funny if like some huge, obviously Afrojack, but like
Afrojack's huge, yeah.
Somebody random just going out there.
I've heard that sometimes, like Tiesto one year, he put his real name on the lineup. Like it was like Tiesto was like a giant headliner, and then like way down the lineup, I don't even know what his real name is.
But he just put his real, okay.
He put his real name at the bottom, and he did like a secret set somewhere else under his real name. So only people that knew who Tiesto really was like his true fans, like went to go to that one. I was like, that's dope. That's super
more
dope.
Intimate, yeah.
Like Skrillex headlining, Sonny Moore playing on this little stage, and you're like, oh snap.
Like I'm just trying to see Skrillex. I don't know who this dude is.
Yeah, well, who's Sonny Moore? And then you realize, oh snap.
I do, man. That's the only person I've seen everybody I want to see besides Skrillex.
Dude, like, I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. Like, everyone is always saying, dude, I've never gotten the opportunity to see Skrillex. He's, like, my number one.
Does he not really go around as much anymore? Like, did he just have, like, one? So
he had the ultimate touring schedule at one point. In 2011, he averaged more than 2 shows a day. Like, in that calendar year, he played, like, 390 shows or something insane. So literally every single day he was either playing 1 or 2 shows. Sometimes 3, and I guess sometimes he would take a day off or whatever. But like, so at one point he was everywhere. Like he played the Athens Theater, the Georgia Theater in Athens.
That's what I'm
which
saying.
Is like insane. Like that's a tiny venue. He played the Tabernacle. He was playing literally everywhere that would book him. It seemed like. And then that tour was simply in America. Then he blew up globally, and then it's like, oh, like, how often is he going to come back to Atlanta when he's got the rest of the world to tour at?
Yeah, and I feel like I missed that wave, and I'm really, really frustrated because I feel like a lot of my friends have seen him at like these, like you said, like it's little shows. My friend saw him at what is it, Demph, or now it's called, what is it called now? TechFest, Demph, it's Movement.
Oh yeah, in Detroit.
You see how fast I had to go back through like the whole, they named it so many different things.
Yeah.
But Movement, my buddy saw Skrillex there, like live. I'm like, Jesus, like how am I missing him? But yeah. I guess I just got to rack up and like. When I was in
Detroit, apparently I didn't even realize it, but I was there a few weeks ago, and I was at the spot where Movement is held.
Oh, okay, at Hart Plaza?
I didn't realize that, yeah. And I was at that little pyramid thing, and my friend on Snapchat, her name's Amanda, she was like, yo, that's where the pyramid stage is at Movement. And I'm like, oh, no way.
So you saw the water and everything?
Yeah.
Imagine like Ben Clock just playing some super dope techno. You're looking at these boats just going by, jet skis, everybody's having a good time. It was an awesome
That's
festival.
It's very similar to the Ultra vibe, because at Ultra it's at Bayfront Park, and so you're on the ocean as well. And one of the like main kind of techno stage, the Arcadia Spider, is like right on the water, and so it's kind of the same thing. Like you're like listening to some like techno, and then and then you got these giant yachts and boats traveling by. It's pretty dope.
I need that. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I do want to go to like Miami Music Week. It's the same week as Ultra, right?
It's the week, yeah, it's like the week leading up to it, and then Ultra's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So like the Monday through Friday of that week is like Miami Music Week.
I heard that's like its own vibe itself.
Totally. Yeah, it's different because it's all at like beach clubs and stuff. But some people don't even care about Ultra. They just go down there for Miami Music Week and like just do that.
One of our good buddies, Raheem, was out there and he was telling me about it. He's like, it was the first time I explored techno.
Yeah.
I know he's going to hear this like, I don't sound like that.
I don't sound like that, bitch. I was like, yo, man, it was the first time I explored techno, man. It was dope as fuck, bro. No, Raheem was down there too. I was trying to meet up with him, but it never ended up working out. But he's like, yeah, man, I like deep house and stuff now.
Yeah, he's a whole different person now. I feel like it usually takes like somebody just to like experience like how good of a vibe it is. It's like everybody's just having fun. Like you go to some of these bars or like clubs out in your local city, you never know what you're gonna get, you know? There's like drama and all this weird shit. But like you go out there to like one of those festivals or just like seeing anything like that, it's a whole another experience that.
Yeah. And you went to Electric Forest recently. What was that like?
Oh,
I've never been there.
Yeah, so as a rookie, man, I was way underprepared, right? So I'm like, oh, it's just a music festival. Let's do this. And it was my first camping one too. And on top of that, it was my first time camping in my life. So I was like, what better place to do it than at a festival that I'm like cool with? So I brought this like rink-a-dink tent. I'm just like, oh, like I guess this is what everybody's gonna bring. I get there, people have freaking tents on top of their cars, huge RVs. People are just way prepared. You know what I mean?
Yes.
First night there, thunderstorm, right? Like the real deal. Like I'm in the middle of a field. Not just rain, it's like lightning, thunder, like I'm freaking out. I wake up to a huge puddle in my tent. My clothes are wet, my pillow was wet, I was wet.
Phone?
No. I wasn't like drowning in it, but it was just like all over my freaking tent. But luckily my phone, and like I brought my camera too. I didn't get messed up. But
that's good.
Yeah, that was day one, and I was like, okay, I'm still here for I'm here for like 4 more days, because I did Good Life, which is like their VIP thing, and you get to go there a day early. So I'm like, crap, man, this is day one. I don't know how I'm gonna survive, but it's just like I feel like that's what makes Electric Forest. It's like you're out there like survival mode, and so I got to see a lot of cool acts, a lot of people that I liked. Got introduced to a lot of cool people that I never knew. DJ wise, and then me and
Who was like the best set?
Who did I like? I saw Above and Beyond.
Nice.
And there was somebody I really wanted to see since I was, really kind of got into the scene. So I saw them. Who else? Oh, Bass Nectar. I only saw him I've seen him a lot, but I seen him like on his New Year's show, and I feel like everybody has like their Bass Nectar story, but
I've seen Bass Nectar 87 times, bro.
Bro, our whole chant for Electric Forest, like we heard, like me and my buddies are at Bass Nectar, and some little girl was like yelling Bass Nectar she was just yelling, Bass Nectar, Bass Nectar, and like we just kept on chanting that with her, like Bass Nectar, Bass Nectar. Anytime like anybody from our group that was there, we just like text each other like Bass Nectar.
You always get those. There's always like the one thing that the inside joke word of the festival.
Bass Nectar.
Yeah.
Dude, so I feel like Bass Nectar was actually one of my favorite sets because he really killed it, because I think he's a residential.
Yeah, he's like a resident Electric Forest now or whatever.
Yeah, so he goes every year, and
So now so I feel like Electric Forest is hella like wooks and stuff, just like very heady, like stoner vibes.
Check it out. First day, I'm in my cool like denim jacket. I got a headband on. I'm like, it's gonna be fresh. Everybody's just like wooked out. I was like, oh man. I have nothing against it. I actually like them. It was just like I would have dressed Wookiee if I'd.
Yeah, I feel you. Did you see a lot of people in those shoes?
Oh yeah, dude. So
a lot of stinky people.
I tried something for the first time. A little like party favor over there. I don't know if I even want to say it, but it was a cool party favor. And so as I was like running around on this thing, I lost my friends, and I was like, I'm cool with this, and I'm still like, I'm still good. And all I remember is like people like just grabbing these trees, like holding onto these trees, and the tree was breathing. I was seeing some like crazy stuff. So all right, I tried acid out there for the first time, and it was insane just because like you're seeing things move in certain ways that you're not used to. But it was definitely a cool experience. But to what you said, like I just seen a crap load of people like rolling around in the mud. Just like, and especially because the thunderstorm the day before. So
it was like mud
slushy.
forest.
Yes.
And it was 2 weekends. Did you go first weekend?
I went first weekend.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
I feel like first weekend is the move, especially to muddy kind of thing. Because then, like, you got the fresh ground. Weekend 2, they're like getting the aftermath of the mud.
Yeah.
And it's like, ugh. That's what I was worried about with Tomorrowland. But Tomorrowland has such good infrastructure. Like, most of the time, you're either walking on wood, these like ground covering like metal plates, or an actual paved road. It's insane.
Oh, they haven't set out
like,
really well then.
It has the most insane infrastructure of a festival I've ever seen. Like, even Ultra, that's like very organized and professional too, like there's still stages that have like, not gravel, wood chips and stuff, and like pine straw and stuff, like as the ground. Like at Tomorrowland, the main stage has like grass as like the thing, but they also have these little like railings they've put, not railings, almost like steps that they've put into the grass too, so you can stand on them and stuff.
Okay.
It's pretty sick, man. Like it's crazy how even when it rained there and stuff, you were not having to like dodge mud puddles or anything. Whereas like Creamfields, for example, I went there in the UK, you have to wear rain boots. I swear, you have to.
Yeah.
Like I went to the store beforehand, everyone in the forums and everyone on Facebook is like, if you don't wear rain boots, you're an idiot. So I went to the store and bought some rain boots, or they call them wellies over there.
Okay.
Wellies. So you can stand in the well. I don't know. But they're like, yeah, you have to wear wellies. If you're not wearing wellies, you're an idiot. You're gonna have a shit time.
Dude, I love the people that you meet at all these places, man.
Yeah.
When I was, in the middle of the rainstorm at Forest, I ended up running into, like, so when I told you I lost my friends, I'm over here just tripping, like having the best time of my life. And I run up to some dude. I'm just like, hey, man, what time is it? Because apparently, like, you lose kind of track of time when you're on acid, and time was kind of, it was like almost non-existent for me. I'm like, hey, what time is it? And dude told me what time it was. I was like, I told him, I was like, I lost my friend. And I'm just kind of like roaming around. He's like, okay, cool. Yeah, you want to chill with us? I was like, cool. So we get to talking, and he's like, yeah, I'm from Atlanta. I was like, oh, no way. I was like, I live in Atlanta. He's like, oh, yeah, I live in Midtown. I was like, no way. I live in Midtown. So, like, we just kept on connected. And then it was so crazy because we don't have any mutual friends. And then, like, I was like, whatever. So, but he was a really cool guy.
That's actually kind of dope whenever you meet someone that has, like, no connections with you, but they live in your town or whatever.
Yeah.
Because then you're like, whoa, now I can, like, open myself up to this whole new circle of people.
Exactly. Really cool guy.
That.
Shout out to Choni G.
Choni?
Yeah. That guy's
Choni
awesome.
2012.
Yeah, that guy's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was a dope environment. And one other story I have from there was super funny. This guy named, what is his name? Gabe, I think. I could be slaughtering it, but it might be Gabe. But so I told you how I lost my friends, doing what I was doing. Very next day, some kid with no shoes on runs up to me, says that almost word for word what I told these guys yesterday. He goes, hey, I'm on acid and I lost my friends, and is it cool if I just hang out with you guys? I'm like, dude, yeah. And he's like some like 20-year-old kid. I'm like, yeah, fucking like hang out with us. But I was by myself, so like I just looked at him and like I saw myself in him. I'm like, I'll take you under my wing,
buddy.
Dude,
we're going places.
He was apparently in general admission. I took him to like all the VIP stuff, so I got him in everywhere. Like we're just drinking everywhere, like, and then took him back to the VIP campgrounds, introduced him to like our whole camp, and he's never like he always had like a dream of playing on CDJs. He wants to be a DJ. My buddy, actually my really good friend King, Mo. He was playing at our campsite. He's playing for like everybody. He's like playing for like literally 100 people.
Yeah.
Gabe, go get on there. Gabe literally throws it on there. He's like, all right, cool. Mo's like, do you know how to play this? As Mo's giving him the headphones. He goes, no, I'm about to try to learn right now. Mo's like, what the? And I'm like, hundreds of people are looking at us right now, like ready for like Gabe to get up next. Up next, we have the amateur, but he got up there.
I'm gonna try to learn it right now.
Like, what? Okay, and it was just funny that Mo like kind of taught him as he was going, so he just got like a really cool experience, man.
That's so tight.
Yeah, and then somehow, some way, we found each other on Instagram, but it was just really dope.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
The people that you meet at music festivals are the best part, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, you know, okay, cool. I've seen this guy a million times, but I'm seeing it with these new people or whatever. Like, that's another thing about, like you were saying, the bucket list of like, okay, now I got Above and Beyond. I've seen Tiesto. I've seen Afrojack. Like, you knock off all these guys on like the headliners. Like, for example, for me, at Tomorrowland, you know, I spent a little bit of time at the main stage, but I think a lot of people, they want to spend time there because like, oh, well, I've never seen Tiesto before, so like, I'm going to go check him out. And I'm like, I've seen Tiesto like 4 times, so like, I'm going to go check out this random stage that I've never even heard of this artist and see if that's
what happens. Yeah, and that's like, how it should go.
Exactly, and like stage hopping is like my favorite thing. Just like, because there's so many stages at Tomorrowland. I can't tell you how many people told me that they didn't even go to every single stage.
Yeah.
Like, which makes sense if you don't make it a point, because there's 19 stages.
You mess around and find, you might find back-to-back people that you like at one stage.
Yeah.
It's half the night's over, you're like, crap, you know?
Yeah. Well, and another thing is people waste a lot of time at their campsite and don't go in until like 5 p.m. Because like the first artist that they actually want to see starts at 5 or 6 or whatever. So they're like, okay, well, we'll just hang out at the campsite and drink or whatever. But I'm like, yo, man, we're at Tomorrowland. Like, we got to take advantage of this opportunity and the time we have here. That was another, you know, thing when I did that stage tour on Snapchat. Like, that wasn't by accident. Like, that took time and effort and like, you know, actual kind of work to make that whole thing play out like that. Like, I could have easily, you know, oh, well, you know, I was going to do the stage tour, but I really like this artist, so like I'm going to stay here or whatever. Yeah. Like, it took effort for me to like actually go around and show
I'm sure there's probably songs, like stuff that you liked, and you're like, crap, I got to continue this story that I'm already like committed to.
Or like maybe there was something else that I saw happening, and I was like, oh, I should put that on Snapchat, but then I'm like, that's going to like mess with the storyline of what I'm trying to do right now on here. So I'm going to leave it alone. Or like maybe I'll just take it on my camera and not put it on Snapchat or whatever, you know? So like, but it was like a concerted effort. And so my friend Jeff Slater, last year, I met him at Tomorrowland through some friends. And on the first day, so like of Tomorrowland, you get there on Thursday, and they have this thing called The Gathering, where it's a concert. It's one stage, and it's only for people camping.
Okay.
So if you're staying in a hotel or staying off site, you can't come. So The Gathering happens on Thursday night. I meet Jeff, we like party all night, and he's like, yo, tomorrow I'm taking you on a stage tour. We're going to go in early, and I'm going to show you all the stages, and I'm going to give you a tour of the whole place. Because he'd been at Tomorrowland like 4 or 5 times.
Oh, okay.
And so I was like, dope. And so that's exactly what I did with my little brother, because I brought my little brother this time. So I was like, okay, Friday morning, we're going on a stage tour. I'm making a Snapchat story of all the stages, and we're going to go check out everything.
That's dope.
And I think that's the best way to do it. Kind of like when you go to a new city. Some people recommend going on like a hop-on, hop-off bus, like one of those buses that just kind of like tours you around. You get to see all the sights. Because I feel like a lot of times you can kind of, when you go to a new city, like, okay, you go to Washington, D.C., okay, we got to go see the Washington Monument, we got to go see the Capitol Building, we got to see the White House, we got to see the Smithsonian, or whatever. You know, you have these like 4 things. If you hop on one of those buses, you can kind of knock off all those things on the first day, so then like the second and third days that you're there or whatever, you can kind of just like do other stuff that may be a little bit more off the beaten path.
Yeah.
Whereas like in the back of your mind, if you haven't done those things, by the end of the trip, you're kind of like, we never went to see the monuments or whatever, you know.
I like to get everything out as soon as you get there. That's kind of what we did at Electric Forest. Same concept.
Yeah.
Wish I would have documented it and made it as freaking cool as Andrew did. But I just went out there and like kind of browsed around at everything that I needed to see, make sure I know where the stages were at, and I feel like that's what makes it easier. Like at night, like once if everybody's like drinking and everything like that, it makes it easier to kind of roam around. Say you get lost because there's a crap load of people there, and everybody's on a mission. So it's like, I mean, of course, people are gonna stop and talk to you. People are open to like talk to you. They want to talk to you, but it's just like, damn, like there's a lot of people. Say you get lost, it's like, but you want to know your surroundings.
And I'm kind of weird. Like, I'm kind of OCD about music festivals because I kind of study before I go there. Like, I do my research and I figure out, like, okay, I'm going to study the map so I know where all the stages are and everything. I'm going to study the schedule so I know what I'm going to be doing each day a little bit. Sometimes at Tomorrowland, I didn't do that much. I actually figured out my schedule, like, the morning of.
Okay.
So, like, the morning of, I'm like, okay, we're going to go to this stage, this stage, this stage, this stage, whatever. Most of the time you deviate from that path anyways, but, like, just so, okay, like, if I'm going to see anybody today, I need to see this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy.
Yeah.
But, like, I was telling my brother, I'm like, dude, you gotta, like, kind of know this map, because if we get lost or whatever, I'm like, yo, meet me at the core stage, and you're like, I don't know where the core stage is. Like, it's kind of a good thing to know, so you can kind of navigate your way. Because once you know the layout and you know the names of all the stages, because that's another thing, by, like, day 4, people are like, I'm like, yo, did you guys go to the Organ of Harmony last night? And they're like, which stage is that again? I'm like, one that looks like a giant organ.
You got to know that stuff before you go.
Yeah, I'm kind of a nerd in that way. Like, I like to know all the weird little
that's what makes,
nuances and quirks and stuff.
That probably makes your experience a little bit better, because, like,
I like to think so.
Exactly. Because, like, for example, like, if you don't really know the stage, just like you said, if they don't know the stage names, you know, you're going to the wrong stage. You're just going off, like, okay, let's just go to the stage, see if that's not who I want to see. Crap, we got to go here. I hate that. And then by the time you've done all that, and at a festival as big as Tomorrowland, you're talking 15-minute walk between stages sometimes, maybe even more. If you're talking one end to the other, like 25 minutes sometimes with all the traffic of people. So it's like, if you screw up and go to the wrong stage, you might miss whoever you wanted to see or whatever. Exactly.
And one of the best memories I had of Tomorrowland was, so we had a conflict. Me and my brother had a conflict of interests.
On who to see.
Not necessarily neither of us wanted to see. We both wanted to see 2 people, and we couldn't decide. And it was Fatboy Slim. Do you know who he is?
Yeah.
Fatboy Slim, legendary dude.
Yeah.
And Excision. And I've seen Excision, like, so many times, but he's one of my favorites.
And it's like, I gotta see him.
And seeing him in Europe, I felt like was going to be a different experience. Like, I was excited to see him out of an American venue where you got all these wooks and, like, because that's another thing. At Tomorrowland, there's very little, like, wooks, as you would say in America. For people that are listening and they don't know what a wook is, I would describe a wook as they look kind of homeless. They're probably kind of stinky. They probably haven't showered in, like, a few days.
Yeah.
They're not wearing shoes. 9 times out of 10, they have dreadlocks.
Yeah. This is all accurate.
Typically, like, long ones, too, with, like, beads and stuff in them. No hate against that, but I'm just saying all of this combined into one person. And typically they got, if it's a dude, they got some sort of beard. And they're wearing some clothes that you're like, where did you even purchase those? Did you make them? Or how did you acquire these clothings? Yeah. Because these don't make sense.
Yeah, so they are, you can definitely tell one when you see one.
Yes. And they embrace that culture too. They're like, yeah, I'm a wook, bro.
Yeah.
They wouldn't necessarily say that, but they're like, wooks unite, kind of like, they all like know. But anyways, at Tomorrowland though, you do have people that haven't showered in a few days. You do have stinky people because it's a camping festival after all, but not the American wooks as much. You've got a few that have made their way, made the journey. Typically, not to be racist towards wooks, but typically they're not very good with their money, and they've somehow like patchworked their way into getting into this festival in the first place. Yeah. And Tomorrowland takes a lot of planning and preparation and money to get there.
So it is kind of like,
I think that's kind of just a filter of
kudos to whoever made it through the journey.
Yeah, if you're a wook and you made it to Tomorrowland, you deserve a round of applause because you've actually got your shit together. Yeah. If you're an American, if you're like a Belgian wook, then
what are they like?
Not the same as American wooks. I would just say there's a lot of weird, like, just strange people there that like they think that wearing like matching outfits together is cool. Like dudes wearing like matching outfits, and I'm like, that's really homo, man. Like like if you guys are gay, then like cool, but like
I hope you don't mind.
I don't think that anyone thinks that what you're doing is like really cool looking.
Yeah.
Like no one's excited about like the fact that you guys are wearing like matching green shirts that are homemade that say Tomorrowland on them. Like we're all at Tomorrowland. You don't have to wear a shirt that says Tomorrowland, bro. Like,
I don't know. It's everybody. That's what I'm saying. Like, people's first times are just like, this is gonna look really cool. Or like, I guarantee when they go back, they're like, what were we thinking?
Or
man?
like, I'll see a group of like 40-year-old dudes, like 5 of them, and they're all wearing like pink fedoras. Like, I'm speechless. What compelled you guys?
That's
like,
their swag.
Oh,
though.
dude, you know what we'll get? Okay, guys, we're going to Tomorrowland. We gotta do something to stand out so we can get the ladies and so everyone knows we're together.
How can we do both? Dry erase board, they're like,
Okay, we got pink fedoras. Okay, that's top of the list so far. What other
I like that idea. Hey, I like that idea too.
I saw a couple guys, it was pretty funny. They were wearing like lime green suits, like full suits, like pants, suit jacket. They had like a white collared shirt underneath with like a green tie.
Dude,
it was kind of fresh.
That's the one thing. Like if you guys haven't been to a music festival, you definitely will see some characters there, man. Like everybody brings something to the table. I will say that. Like you'll see stuff that are really funny, some things that are not as creative, some things that are really original. So it's just. Sometimes I just go to people watch in the beginning. Like if I have like an hour slot where like there's no one I really want to see. I'm just walking around like, oh my God, look at that person. Let me get a picture with this.
Yeah.
So people
watching at music festivals is fantastic. My thing about also European festivals is like you don't get the typical like plur attire, like rave attire. You don't have the candy. You don't have the fuzzy boots. You don't have the fuzzy hat with the spirit hoods. The spirit hoods. You don't have as much LED stuff. There's some, of course. Some of that makes it over. Some of that rave culture makes it over there. But most of the time, the standard attire is going to be something like this, like some jean shorts, some tennis shoes, typically like some Adidas Superstars or like Stan Smiths or something, and then like just like a regular shirt, maybe something kind of quirky on it or something. But most people are just wearing normal stuff there.
That's kind of what I like because I feel like they embrace the music more.
Totally.
Maybe not. But from what I've seen, I've watched a couple of documentaries on like Viceland about like the rave scene out in like Europe and just how it's a little bit different out there. And out here, it's more of like it is like a fashion show. It's more of like we're always trying to outdo each other. Yeah. So who's gonna look the best? Who's really gonna get the shock factor? Like out there, it's like they just go, and then who's gonna do the craziest thing? I guess
that's another thing. Yeah, like people are kind of people are crazy over there too. But to go back, we were talking about Excision and Fatboy Slim though.
Oh yeah, you and your brother.
Yes. So
how did that get resolved?
So the way the schedule worked was the festival ended at 1. But Fatboy Slim played an hour and a half set, and he ended at 1. Excision played an hour set, and he ended at 12:50. So I looked at that schedule. Most people would look at the schedule and just think, okay, Excision, he ends at 1. But attention to detail. There is 10 extra minutes where if we sprint, we can sprint over and see the closing of Fatboy Slim. And we can go to Fatboy Slim in the beginning because he's an hour and a half set. Excision's only an hour. So what we did was we saw Fatboy Slim for like 40 minutes, walked over to Excision, saw Excision for like 50 minutes, and then like we knew that as soon as Excision ended, it was going to be like a cattle herd trying to get to the exit. And the exit to Dreamville was towards the direction of the stage that Fatboy Slim was playing at. So we were like, he's like, okay, guys, this is my last song. And me and my brother like, okay, we got to get out of here before this cattle herd if we're trying to make the last 10 minutes of Fatboy Slim. So we were like, a little bit drunk, and I swear to you, running through this crowd, like sprint. My brother was kind of like, "No, dude, let's just walk," and I was not having any of that. I was like, "No, bro, I am going," because we were tired. Our legs were tired. It was like this third day. We were like, kind of dragging a little bit. Third day meaning Saturday, because I counted Thursday as a day, I guess. Okay. But anyways, so we still have one more day, and I'm like, I just start kind of jogging, and my brother's behind me, and then I start running faster, and I look behind me, still going. And I'm like, I'm going. I'm sprinting. So it was like a video game, bro. Like dodging people. It was like just running through people. Oh snap! There's an obstacle. Some people are in my way. Got to dodge around them. And then like there was a normal path, and then I went like around them on the side of the path, like jumping on rocks and all this stuff. And like by the time I was so exhausted, but I was like, I know that I'm gonna regret it if we miss the ending of Fat Boy Slim. So like we gotta sprint. Because typically, that walk, if we wouldn't have sprinted, would have taken 10 minutes.
Yeah, and you would have missed it.
And we would have missed it. So we got there. It took us 1 minute and 30 seconds to sprint there. I had my watch. I looked at it, and I was like, how much time we got? Okay, how much time we got? And we sprinted there in like 1 minute and 30 seconds. And it was the most rewarding thing, because another cool thing about music festivals like Tomorrowland is like a lot of times the crowd doesn't really bunch up towards the front. Like, no one really cares about being in the front row. Yeah. Because, like, what are you going to see anyways? Like, yeah, you're close to the DJ, but, like, being in the middle is, like, just as cool a lot of the times. So me and my brother got up, like, pretty close to the front, like, fairly easily in, like, just a second. So we basically just walked right up. And then, like, the ending was, like, so insane. Just, like, tons of confetti, fireworks, all of this crazy stuff. And, like, it was just so awesome because we were like...
That was your...
but it was like so worth it. Exactly. It was like so worth it. It was one of the best memories, because it was like all a blur, because we were just like sprinting, and we were kind of drunk too. So like when you're like, doing something when you're kind of drunk, everything is a little bit like kind of and so it was like a video game. Oh. It was gnarly.
I'm actually gonna go get drunk and run up the street and see what happens.
Maybe don't do it with cars around, but like, have you ever ran through a crowd? Like, you're trying to, like, run through an airport or, like, run through a crowd. Yeah. It's kind of fun because you have to, like, dodge people and stuff. And
we did it at Forest. It wasn't, like, to see anybody. It was more so, like, we're trying to get back to the campsite. So one cool thing that happened was my buddy Mo, he played for, he's a pretty good DJ. And we were trying to leave. Who were we trying to leave? AC Slater's set.
Oh, I love AC
and I was like really like heartbroken. I was like, I gotta leave this, but it was all gonna be worth it. Yeah. But we knew why we had to do it. So we're leaving his set, and we had to sprint back before he finished because we had to go to general admission. And general admission, they turn up in there, dude. Like huge buses. They have CDJs on top of the bus, and then in the middle of like two buses will be like just a crowd of people listening to both or just hanging out.
That's so sick. That reminds me of like Burning Man.
You've been to Burning Man?
No, but like I've seen videos and stuff. There's always just like a DJ on top of a van, and everyone just crowded around, and like that's the stage.
Oh yeah, dude. It was like these school buses out there. So like they had like all these school buses, and a whole bunch of DJs would come and play, like small scale people. And so our goal was, all right, we have to run back, get our CDJs from our campsite,
and go to general admission.
Yeah, take the bike, which only carries 4 people. Like uncomfortably too. Like probably can only carry like 2 comfortably. So we smashed a dude on a bike. So I felt so bad. It was like this 40-year-old guy. He's like, "Hey, what's going on? Where are we headed?" We're like, "We're going to general admission." He was like, "All right." So he's like struggling to pull. We helped him. Like we jumped off the bike. We're pushing him, like helping him because he's like sweating.
One of those pedal taxi things you're talking about. Okay, gotcha.
It had like LED lights and everything.
Nice.
So it looked cool, but I just saw it in his face. He was like, "I'm really tired, guys. I'm sorry." And we're in a rush, so we hopped off. Any way we can help, man. So we're pushing him. Some of us are just jogging, just to help him get up the hill. So
because you had all your equipment with you,
we had all our shit with us. So we're sprinting to general admission, and we end up playing over there, and it was a really cool time. Don't even remember where I was going with this. Oh, that was
CDJs in the general admission.
No, the time I was sprinting. So
yeah,
we're like once we got to general admission, because AC Slater was one of the last sets for I think this is day 2, and everybody's in general admission, and we're sprinting through there trying to find out where the stage is. So we have these huge suitcases of CDJs, our backpacks with like alcohol and stuff in it, and we're just trying to like sprint through everybody because we're supposed to go on like at a certain time. So we're like, crap, we can't find anything. We're just like running through everybody. But it wasn't as, I feel like yours was more of a desperate run, like I have 10 minutes to see this person.
Yeah.
Ours was like, we just have to find this stage before everybody gets there, because we could have been fashionably late. We just wanted to be on time. But yours was like a set time. Like,
yeah, it was like, this is going to end, and we're going to miss the ending if we don't sprint. And my brother was like, nah, dude, we can just jog. And I'm like, nah, dude, we can sprint. And I was like, if you want to jog, you can lag behind. Like, I'm going to sprint and get there.
Yeah.
And he kept up, so it was good. But but the crazy thing, too, is most of it was uphill. So we were, like, sprinting, like, a hill climb.
Oh, you got a real nice workout.
It was gnarly. Yeah, and we got a very nice workout. My hammies were on fire the next day. But, no, it was fun. At Tomorrow World. You never went to Tomorrow World, did you?
No, it rained out and not crazy shit happened.
Yeah, so that year that I went, the rainy year, in normal general admission Dreamville, there was this one night where this similar thing where this guy just busted out his CDJs and stuff. And there's no noise curfew at Tomorrow World, whereas at Tomorrowland, they make you be quiet after a certain time.
Okay.
So, like, people just party all night long at Tomorrow World. Like, it was a madhouse. And I just remember this dude was on CDJs playing, like, something on. Like, it was a really good set, and it was under this little, like, tent that they had provided. So, it was raining, but he was covered. And I just remember something happened where, like, someone got, like, naked and, like, streaked through the crowd or something weird. I just remember being like, whoa, look at that naked guy or something like that. And he was, like, running through the crowd or something. And then, like, the Dreamville staff, like, thought, like, I don't know, it was getting out of hand a little bit because people were, like, climbing on the tables and, like, almost, like, starting to break stuff or something. Like, it was starting to get kind of rowdy. And so they were trying to break it up, but, like, no one in the crowd was having it. They're like, no, you can't shut us down. You can't shut us down. And, like, it was just so gnarly because it was just one of the weirdest memories because it was, like, pouring rain. The staff was, like, trying to kind of shut this thing down, and everyone's like,
nah,
we're not going anywhere, man.
For this. Yeah.
We're not going anywhere. This is his speakers. This is his stuff. Like, we're not going anywhere. And, that was
damn
crazy memories. Yeah, and Dreamville at Tomorrow World is just way different than Dreamville at Tomorrowland. Because at Tomorrowland, they make you be quiet. And so also, I've never been in the general admission Tomorrowland camping area at night. I've only been there during the day, but still. Dude, this year, did you see how they had that gym? They had a full-on gym in Dreamville, in the camping area.
No.
A full-on with like a bench press thing, squat racks.
Were people in there?
Yes, dude. And it was because, like, a gym was, like, one of the sponsors. Like, so basically, I think Tomorrowland probably did, like, a poll or something, and they were probably like, okay, what can we do that would make Dreamville, like, our camping area, like, really stand out from any other festival? Because, to be honest, Tomorrowland is, like, the gold standard, and most other festivals just kind of copy what they do. Like, to be honest, they've just got their shit together so hard. And so this year they were like, you know what? Like, people are really into fitness these days and stuff, and, like, during the festival, like, there might be some people that are, you know, maybe that's been a complaint before. Like, yo, you know, I'm walking all through the day and stuff, but I need to, like, really get my workout in.
Get the hell out of here,
I'm not joking you, man. So there was three areas. There was one that was, like, a group fitness floor, and, like, every day there was a different group fitness class. So, like, in the morning they had yoga. Then they had, like, a dance kind of class or whatever where you could go and do, like, Zumba kind of shit. Then they had another yoga class. Then so they literally had, like, a group fitness schedule with an instructor and everything. And then on the opposite side of the boardwalk, they had a fighting gym kind of thing set up. So there was, like, I can't remember if there was mats laid down, but they were doing, like, kickboxing classes. They had people with gloves on, instructors, like, hitting, like, holding up stuff for them to hit. They had boxing, punching bags. They had heavy bags and all that stuff. And then there was people doing group fitness classes for that, people learning kickboxing. And then on the other side, there was, like, a straight up traditional gym with, like, a bench press, a couple bench presses, squat racks.
Whoa. Okay, this is like the
curling,
real deal.
Tons of dumbbells for free weights. One of those like big, you know, like at Lifetime how they have like the thing where it's kind of like shaped like this, and it's got like a pull-up bar in the middle, and then like the two cable things on the sides,
snap.
and it's got like a bunch of little things around, so you can do like seated rows or like seated pull downs, stuff like that. And then yeah, it was crazy. It was like a full-on gym.
I'm more surprised that like people are like, yeah, I'm gonna go do that.
Well, I think also, you know, at Tomorrowland, yeah, you're going to be exhausted all day, but you're not getting any kind of upper body workout.
Yeah.
You know, it's all lower body. You're walking, dancing, stuff like that. Unless you're like carrying someone on your shoulders all day, you're not really like, I mean, you're getting a workout because you're just burning calories straight up all day long. But, you know, if people are like really, you know, and I think it was more just the novelty of it.
Yeah.
But there were some like big ass dudes actually working out there, and I'm sure it was kind of like a posturing thing, like yeah, what's up, I'm gonna show off a little bit and show you I can bench press 315 or whatever, you know?
I feel like because like as much I work out a lot, I know you work out a lot too, and I'm like, I feel like at a festival it's like I can put this on hold for a couple of days, like
yeah,
I don't know, but I guess if it is there, it's like why not?
But like for example, my friend Desiree, like I know one thing that she was saying was like I would go. Not Dre.
Oh, okay. No. Okay.
No, she was like saying, you know, I'd love to go to these festivals, but I'm in like contest prep right now. Like I can't afford to take like 3 days off to just like eat whatever I want and all this stuff. And you know, if there was something like that where she could potentially like get her workout in, and you know, they're at Tomorrowland. Another thing that is surprising, not necessarily surprising, but the food options are phenomenal.
Yeah.
So like if you're a vegan or something, like they have got hella options for that. They've got food from all over the world. You know, you can eat healthy there. It will be expensive, but you can eat.
It's possible.
Mm-hmm. That's the one thing that my brother kept saying. That's what my brother kept saying is like, if you want to pay the money, Tomorrowland is a straight up resort. In the VIP camping area, there's hot tubs. Did you see that?
Mm-mm.
In the area that we were staying in, we had hot tubs. So at the end of the night, you can come and chill in a hot tub. They had like all these hammocks and beds everywhere where you can go chill. You can get a massage. You can get your hair and makeup done in the morning by a professional. They've got a store where you can go buy food if you want to like cook stuff on. There's like barbecues out where you can like literally just grill out. There's gourmet restaurants inside the festival. There's actual gourmet restaurants. There's a tattoo parlor if you want to go literally get a tattoo, like a real tattoo. Like, it is so...
A resort for just, like, cool shit, though.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not like, actually, I guess you can, like,
there's
massages.
There's tennis courts. There's ping pong tables. Like, literally, it's insane. There's a pool. Like, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's absolutely gnarly.
As much as, I guess I do. That is going to be a goal of mine.
Yeah, I was going to say, I see it on your list right there.
Oh, isn't that hilarious? I got this dry erase board in my room. It's like, all right, you know, get a new place, go to Thailand, and then as we're talking about this, on here is Tomorrowland.
Dude.
Yeah.
It's
And then you just
crazy.
painting this picture as like, I'm going to underline it now and like circle it, like gotta go.
Yeah, man. The biggest thing for people is like, that's what I appreciate about you, man, is like, you have like goals, but you're actually going out and doing them, you know? Like, okay, there's Electric Forest. Sometimes, you know, it's in Michigan. It's a little bit farther away for people in Georgia, but it's not super far. Yeah. But like some people would be like, I can't take enough time, or like, I don't know, it's too much prep.
Man, like.
Mm-hmm. And like, you've gone to a lot of other cool places overseas. Like, where else have you been? You've
been to Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Tanzania, Kenya, Switzerland, Paris. Like, been to some cool places, and it's all about just like pulling that trigger, like, I just want to go and see something different.
Exactly, man. And like, people always want to make the money excuse and stuff, which is a legitimate excuse.
Yeah.
But most of the time, it's not a fact that they're not making enough of their job. It's a fact that they're spending most of their money on stupid shit.
Do your research, spend your money like the correct way, budget, you know, and like actually don't just say I want to go somewhere. Like, plan it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And like you, for example, you just moved into this dope ass new spot, and you were saying like, yo, like we moved into this cool spot, but like we need to make sure we're staying on top of our bills and stuff. Like, I'm still cooking all my food here. I'm not going out to eat every night. Yeah. Like, we're trying to be smart about this.
Yeah, that's the thing. So, because people will just see from the outside like cool spot, like, but they don't know what's going on the inside. Like, Like my lifestyle is changing a little bit, but it's doing different cool shit. Like it's just people. You can't judge just off the outside part. So like, oh man, fucking Andrew just he goes to Tomorrowland every year, but like they don't know like what you're doing. Like you're doing all your research. Like you're saving up. It's not. You just go off the the day before.
And another thing, people always message me on Snapchat or whatever, and they're like, dude, how are you always partying all the time? How are you always doing cool stuff? And I'm like, that's because you don't see me putting in the work, man. Like, I'm not documenting me going to work every day. And like, granted, I'm just working like a normal job. I'm not even making that crazy amount of money. And like, this podcast makes literally nothing. It steals money from my pocket every day. I'm paying my bills for my website. I'm paying bills for having the Adobe Creative Suite where I got to pay for Photoshop and all my editing software. I got to pay for these microphones and pay for the equipment to record. I got to pay for the gas to make it out to the places where I'm recording at.
Almost losing money, yeah.
I'm spending tons of time trying to plan out who I'm going to do my next podcast with. I'm wasting time that I could be working something else, editing the podcast or whatever. And like, that's because I'm putting in the hard work, man. Like, because I know that eventually, hopefully, I can make this into something that can make me money. And if not, it's going to be a learning experience that I can take these kind of skills and stuff that I've learned by doing this into some other kind of project later that's probably going to make money.
Exactly.
But I don't remember the point I was going to make with that. I was going to say, as far as, like you said, you don't really know what's going on the inside.
Yeah, it's all about put the work in, and they don't see the outside or the actual everyday thing. So
exactly, man.
I think what was it? I think Gary said it. Like document like the process. Mm-hmm. So that is something that like I'm starting to kind of jump on board with because
people like to see that nitty gritty.
Yeah, and it kind of motivates them. You know what I mean? And like that's all what I'm really trying to get at. My whole thing is like just motivation. You know what I mean? As long as I can somehow, some way, like help somebody make that extra step, I'm like, okay, cool. I feel satisfied. Even if I didn't get paid for it, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That's why I'm doing like the meal prep thing. That's why I'm doing training because like I like seeing people get to where they want to go. You know, so it's never me like, oh, this is what I'm doing. This is my body. This is if I'm ever like posting something, it's not me trying to like gloat or trying to like shine on anybody. It's like you can do this too because like. I think I'm like one of the most basic people. Like if I can do it, I know anybody else can. So whenever I post something like, oh, new homeowner, it's like, you can definitely do this too. Like didn't finish college, you can definitely do this too. Like anybody can do anything as long as you find out like what's your learning style. So I know mine is visual. That's why I have like all these fucking dry erase boards everywhere. It's just like, I need to write out my goals. I need to write everything out. That's how I learn. That's how I get to where I go. So once you find out like what your learning style is, or once you figure out what gets you to where you need to go, stick with that.
Yeah. Totally. I agree, man. What you said, like you like motivating people, but what motivates you? You know what I mean? Because a lot of times people, they don't have that self-motivation. They're like, man, I'm just not motivated. And then they'll watch some kind of like YouTube video where some guy's like yelling like, you only have one life to live. You gotta be a beast in the gym. You gotta be an animal. You gotta take this life by the balls and squeeze the life out of it until you can't squeeze no more. Then you still go out and you get after it. And when you think you can't quit, then you don't. And you keep going. And like, and then they're all fired up like, oh yeah, okay, cool. I'm gonna go to the gym. And then like 5 hours later, they're like, on the couch eating Cheetos, watching YouTube videos. Like, no. What keeps you motivated? Because you're saying like you like motivating people, but is there someone motivating you, or is it kind of self-contained?
My thing is like I like pressure. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Which some people can't handle. Some people love it. And I think it's like it comes from like the athlete in me. Like I need pressure. I need like a lot of eyes on me. So it's like when I motivate, I feel like when I get those stories back, like, oh man, if it wasn't for you, like I wouldn't have done this, and it's like that satisfies me. It's like, okay, cool. Like I just want to keep on doing that. I just want to keep on making people feel good. So like, who knows? Like I'll keep on posting videos. I might not get a response back until someone's like, dude, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have done this, and that feeds me. That keeps me going, and I just feel like
that's cool.
It can sound corny as hell. Whatever, take it how you want it. Almost like some superhero shit. It's not like, oh, I'm not better than anybody. It's just like, I just want to help. I just want to help as much as I can.
I feel you on that. Yeah. That's cool because I never really realized what motivated me growing up. Like, is it like this money thing? Because it's never really been about money for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've always just felt like I'll get it eventually. Like, I've always felt like, for whatever reason, I try not to ever look at a price tag and be like, that's too much, I'm never going to attain that.
Yeah.
I always just have this weird feeling in the back of my head, like, oh yeah, someday I'll be able to get there. But I'm also not like, I'm trying to put steps in place every day so that I can eventually attain something cool like that,
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is, like, you mentioned that you like pressure. And most people, they would try to avoid that as much as possible,
Yeah.
And I think the biggest factor for me is having the eyeballs on me as well. Because I've noticed, like, for example, when I go to, like, Ninja Quest, for example, and there's an obstacle that I'm trying to do.
I really want to go there, by the way.
Dude, let's go on Wednesday if you can.
I work at 5. Is it like an evening thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay. We'll figure out a time. But I've been going there on Wednesdays. And they have this, they have like open gym for like a while, and then they do an obstacle, they have a course that's set up that changes week to week, and they say, okay, they'll walk you through, and they're like, okay, we're going to start here, you're going to have to go over these things, you're going to go to this obstacle, you're going to have to swing here, blah, 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 the third obstacle is going to be this, fourth obstacle is going to be this, and they walk everybody through all the obstacles and show them how to do it. And then everyone writes their name on a list, and then they go through and time everybody, and you go and do the course. And not everybody's watching everyone. People might be kind of off doing their own thing while some other people are running the course. But, like, when the course is going on, like, a lot of people are watching you, especially if you get kind of towards the end, because it gets harder as it goes. Like, the first obstacles are easy, and then, like, the last obstacles are the hardest ones. And so, like, as people are watching you, when you're in the open gym part, like, and you're just, like, doing it to practice, nobody's probably really watching you. Maybe if you're doing like a really hard something, people might be like, oh shit, he's about to try to do that. No, it's not. But, like, not all the eyeballs are on you. And I realized that I sometimes when I know that the eyeballs aren't on me, I'm just like, I probably could do this, but this is really hard, so I'm gonna give up right now. But, like, when everybody's watching and it, like, is for the time and it's for the actual thing, I'm like, I've got to do this. I got to, like, prove myself right now. Even though, like, I don't even care about what those people's opinions are. Like, I'm like, this is my time to shine. Like, I got to do this. Like, it's do or die, Andrew. If you had a gun to your head, would you be able to do it? Yeah. Power through. Come on. All that kind of stuff. And so, like, that's one thing that I've realized is a big motivation for me is if it's just me against myself, I'm always going to let myself down.
Yeah.
But if it's me letting down other people, then I'm gonna follow through. Always,
because you need those eyes. Me and my roommate were actually talking about it because when we were recording for one of our videos, like, I was getting nervous. I don't know what it is. Like, I'm actually trying to look into it right now. I'm like, I get more nervous in front of like one or two people, but like if I don't know hundreds of people, I'm like, great. Like, I shine. I'm way more comfortable, way more fluid. Everything just runs smoothly. And I really want to find out what that is. My thing was maybe it's because, like, you say one wrong thing in front of one person, you can directly see their body language or, like, see how they react to it. If you're in a crowd of people, you don't see everybody individually, so you can kind of take it how it comes.
Yeah, there's another weird thing. Like, I think that when you have kind of controversial viewpoints or you have something that a lot of people aren't going to agree with, if you're in a room with only a couple people, chances are those couple people might not agree with you. But if you're in a room with 100 people, you might have 50% agree, 50% disagree. But since there's more people, chances are you're going to have a lot more supporters. But if you're in a room with 2 or 3, those people might just happen to be on the other side of that fence, and so then it's 100% of the audience doesn't like what you're saying or whatever. And I think a lot of times it's just like an insecurity thing too. Like, you're just like not 100%. Like, for me, if I'm in, because I get the same way. Like, if I'm talking with like a few people, sometimes it's a little more nerve-wracking than talking in front of a whole bunch of people. But there's something weird about like this podcast. Like, this podcast is going to be listened to by like literally hundreds of people, but I don't feel like we're broadcasting to hundreds of people. Same thing with my Snapchat. Like, on my Snapchat, like some of my Snapchats get like 900 views, but like if I had to like actually look at an auditorium full of 900 people all sitting up watching my Snapchats on a big screen, that's like crazy, right? But that's what's happening. Exactly. It just happens to be they're all in a different place watching on their phone in their hand. But when I'm putting something on Snapchat, I'm not even really thinking about who's going to watch it or what's going to happen. I'm just like, I'm putting this out there. Whoever's going to like it is going to like it, and hopefully I can attract that audience that's going to like it, and the people that don't, they don't have to watch. But like the people that, but when I do put it out there and people are giving me feedback, like, yo, that was super dope, like, that was super awesome, thanks for showing me all about Tomorrowland and stuff, that's what keeps me going too. Because like, once you get that positive feedback, it's addicting.
Yes. That's all it takes. Once you get positive feedback, then...
And it's not even because you're stroking your own ego like, oh yeah, look at me, I'm doing cool things. But you're legitimately providing value to other people.
Yeah.
Like when you make something, like a fitness post or whatever, talking about some kind of cool new tip or new workout or new food they can make or, whatever it might be, and people are digging the content, that's value to their life. Like that could be something that could, potentially make a change. And that's what life is all about. Like providing value to other people is the only way you can get anywhere for anybody. Exactly. It's the only way you can make money.
I feel like
the only way you can get
in
ahead.
This world of like taking, like if you're a giver, like that's where you're winning. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I just feel like those are the people that are most happy when people are just providing services or just providing information. They're just shooting it out, shelling it out, just radiating that out. I feel like they're the happiest from what I've seen so far. Like, I feel like you're really happy with this, this podcast that you're doing. It's successful, you know what I mean? You stay consistent with it, and it's something that makes you happy. You're just shelling out, things that, content, open content at that, which, makes it a lot easier for people to, like, really, vibe with, because it's, you came here, you just pulled up at the house, and we're just going. And I listen to some of the other podcasts, and, like, it's just everywhere, and it's good because you feel like you're hanging out with those two interesting people.
Yeah.
And, I just feel like as long as you're shelling out whatever it is that makes you happy, or if you're just shelling out information, that's what's, ultimately like key.
Yeah, man. So I wanted to kind of talk to you about this as well, because last time we didn't really mention this. You've been kind of like going into a little bit of a transition of like where you were, maybe a year ago to now. You're like kind of doing a couple of different things. One thing that you've been doing is like talking to schools and stuff like that. Are you still kind of doing that, or like is that?
Yeah. Now that school is back,
nice.
Yeah, we're gonna take that full throttle, because last year when I was doing it,
what were you doing, by the way, for people that are listening?
Oh yeah, so I'll go to different schools and just talk about entrepreneurship and to tell these kids to do what they love, because at a young age I'm just finding out that like, oh, you can financially be stable doing something that you're really interested in. When I was a kid, funny thing is, as big as DJs are now, I wanted to actually be a DJ. My dad's like, what are you talking about? You gotta go to school. Like, you can't do that. You're not gonna make money off that. And what the fuck? Like, what if I did stick with it? Would have been, it's a hot commodity right now. Would have been a cool DJ, But it's just I never had the someone to come in there and tell me like, you can actually do this. Whatever it is that you like, you can make money off of it. So I go to schools in Brooklyn. I went to Mesa Academy, charter school out there. Been to a lot of schools out here in Atlanta. Planning, actually, one of my next big projects. So we used to do pen pals at Jackson Elementary. We did a pen pals program where they would talk to schools in Bali and Thailand. And we would send videos back and forth. Their class would send us videos back. And have a really strong connection with the Green School in Bali, which is awesome because they're just like it's in the name, Green School. Like everything's solar paneled. That's how they have energy. There's no like wood or anything, or no like brick. It's all bamboo wood. The whole school is made out of bamboo. It's legit. Go check it out. Like I think it's greenschoolbali.com, or just look that up. But it's awesome what they're doing. Next big project we're gonna do is continue the Pen Pals program, and then in March go out to Thailand and talk to the school, like do some videos with them and kind of explore Thailand. So that's next on here. That's why you see awesome, Thailand's on there on the vision board.
That's so cool.
Yeah, man.
We've talked about this before, how like the internet is making so many people more connected as far as cross-culturally and cross, overseas. Before, if you wanted to learn about people in Bali or whatever, you had to like read it in a textbook or whatever.
Yeah.
And you know, the pen pal thing, you could have made that happen back in the day, but it would probably be much more difficult.
Yeah.
But now that you don't actually even have to send like actual letters. You could send emails and pictures of stuff and videos and all that. You can actually like connect with people over there.
Yeah.
And that's powerful.
And it's crazy because like some of the kids were starting to really recognize each other. Like some of the students here in Georgia started recognizing the ones over there, and it's like, you know, that's why I want to continue that. And like they actually make real friends over there, legitimate friends, and who knows where that relationship might take them later in life. You know, when I was little, you know, this guy Adam came and had his pen pal. Now they're friends. They go and travel and see each other. I don't know. It just promotes like traveling and meeting new people, and you know, just kind of exploring what's out there.
Having friends all over the world is so crazy.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm sure you have
I love it so much, man. It's so fun because, like, one thing that I realized when I was in Amsterdam, I was like, recently, I was like, man, it'd be so cool if, like, all my friends just, like, moved here with me, you know? And I know that's not possible, but I was like, oh, it'd be so dope, like, to have everybody who's cool that I know, like, all living here. And then I realized, like, there's so many other cool people that I don't know yet that like I still want to meet, and like everybody who could potentially be your friend, the only reason why they're not your friend yet is because you haven't met and you haven't said hi, or you haven't like actually attempted to meet that person or whatever. And like everyone is a potential friend. All you gotta do is say hi, pretty much.
Yeah.
And a lot of people ask me all the time, they're like, dude, how do you know so many people? You always know so many people and stuff. And I'm like, I just try to be as friendly as possible. And like when I meet somebody, I try to like figure out some way we can like still stay in touch, stay connected. And like one weird thing about like, for example, you'll meet somebody at a, you know, we keep going back to the music festival thing, but that's a big part of my traveling. I'll meet somebody at a music festival, let's say, and like, oh cool, yeah, I'll add you on Facebook. We don't even become that good of friends at the festival, but then because we're friends on Facebook, I get to see their daily life. I get to see like, oh yeah, oh he just got a new dog, oh that's so cool, or like, oh cool, he just moved in this new place, oh cool, he and his boyfriend just like did this or whatever, you know, whatever it might be. And then later when you see them like a year later at Tomorrowland again, it's like a gathering and you're like, yo dude, what's up man, oh my gosh. Even though at the festival, you might have not even connected that hard. You might have just been like, all right, man, cool. You know, I'll add you on Facebook. See you later, man. But like when you see them again, it's like such a crazy mind fuck too. Because you're like, bro, how crazy is it that we met here 1 year ago? We went back to our separate lives all across the world, and now we're back, and now it's awesome. And I've decided that I like you. You're a cool person. Now we're gonna like hang out. It's just so crazy how like that can even happen, you know?
Yeah.
And another thing that I've heard is that different locations, the more time you spend with people at different locations, the stronger your bond is. Like if you always hang out with someone at the same place, you know, not necessarily that you have a weak bond, but like for example, if you go out on like a date with a girl or something and you only like spend time at this bar or whatever and then you both leave, you know, you might like, okay, cool, she was cool or whatever. But if you like go to one bar and then like hop to another bar and then hop to another bar and hop to another bar and you get to see how these people act in like different situations and stuff, you feel like you get to know them a little better and you like connect on a different level even more. It's kind of crazy, but it makes sense.
Needed that. About to go on a date tonight, so I'm going to make sure that we go to like 6 different places.
And you got to make sure that your attire is appropriate for multiple venues.
Oh, so I
you know what I mean?
Wear the mini skirt.
You could.
Well, I mean,
how dare they assume your gender?
You know what I mean? Like, why can't I wear that?
No, but like, you know what I mean? If you were going out for like a casual like afternoon lunch or whatever, but then maybe who knows that if the day goes really well, you might try to extend it like as long as possible. Yeah. And then you might be trying to go to some kind of swanky like dinner place, and you're like, oh crap, I'm wearing like ripped jean shorts. Yeah. And you're like, I should have worn pants or something.
Just be able to be.
You got to be prepared.
Yeah.
That's the Eagle Scout, Boy Scout motto right there. Be prepared.
Shows you how much I put up to. I'm like.
Yeah. I think that's like Webelos or something. and like the Hunger Games. What's the Hunger Games thing? They're like,
oh yeah. That's where I got it from. That's what it is. What's wrong with me?
That's funny. No, but it. What were we talking about? You were saying, oh yeah, but your school thing. You like going to schools and stuff. So now that school's back in session, you're trying to do that a little bit more.
Definitely continue that. And I want to just like now that I got I kind of got it down to a science on like what I talk to the kids about, the activities that we do. I want to like kind of travel the U.S. with it. Like I told you, I went to New York, and that was like a really dope experience. So like just feeling that and the love from all the kids, the teachers really, you know, played a good part in that. I want to maybe start hitting up Florida, Michigan, other places that I'm, you know, connected with. And like you said, it's cool to have people in other countries, but why not start here? Like I have a lot of friends that are, you know, in different states. You know, hang out with them, see if they know like any schools that would, you know, potentially like what I'm doing and continue doing it out here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man.
That's really awesome.
You have any projects coming up?
Because I know pretty much this podcast has been my main focus, man. Like a lot of people, like it's kind of crazy how many people coming out of the woodwork too once they see like, oh shit, Andrew's actually like trying to do something. Because like 3-4 months ago, people might just be like, oh yeah, Andrew's cool or whatever, but like sometimes people don't view you as like an asset, sort of. Mm-hmm. You know, I think people a lot of times, you know, it's surprising like when you kind of craft yourself into someone that people view as like, for example, a go-getter or as a someone who's not going the traditional path, or, you know, oh, you know, he was ballsy and like dropped out of college not because he was stupid, but he was like trying to pursue something else. Like when people see that kind of stuff, they a lot of times either resent you or respect you for it, you know? Yeah. And like I said, this podcast is making no money right now. It's literally stealing money from my pocket, but there's no denying that there's something happening here, obviously. Yeah. You know, I'm having people hit me up. People, like I had an Olympic gold medalist hit me up once to be on the podcast. I have people in different like states and stuff that want to be on. One thing that I'm struggling with right now is like, I like doing the face-to-face thing. Yeah. Do I kind of sell out and do the Skype thing? Or do I stay true and be like, okay, I want to have this podcast with you, but I'm going to put it on hold for now because I either need to fly out to you or you need to fly out here because I want to do like a face-to-face thing. Yeah. Because that's what I really enjoy. Because as soon as I feel like I'm having to like force it and like make it weird and like, oh, let's do a Skype thing, it's impersonal, like I'm going to start to enjoy it less and less. I don't know.
And like the more people that see like what you're doing, the more they want to help you, especially like genuine people like, dude, I remember I hit you up that one day. I was like, I have people that I think you should interview. Like, yeah. And I feel like it would be really cool for your thing. Like, it's just because other people, they see how dope this is and they want to help. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I definitely see where this is going, man.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I wanted to talk to you about too is like how this podcast, like one of the main goals of it is like to bring people together and also like break down people's preconceived notions and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, because people might have, like, for example, I have my friend who's a chiropractor, and people might have this view of chiropractors and say, all chiropractors are bullshit artists, they don't even know real science, blah, blah, blah. Maybe they listen to that podcast and they're like, oh, snap, like, she was actually way more knowledgeable than I thought. Mm-hmm. Or, you know, I'll have my friend Luke, who's like a huge conservative guy, shoots guns, very politically active, you know, and if you're a liberal, you might see him on Facebook and hate his guts. Yeah. But then you listen to this podcast and you realize he's a really cool human being, and maybe you don't believe in his political views or whatever. You can still say, okay, maybe I don't like what he stands for or what he believes, but like as far as being like a cool guy, like I'd probably hang out with him, you know? And we talked about this before on the podcast. Like that's one thing that music festivals are so good about is like when you meet someone at a music festival, you don't know what their Facebook is. You don't know their previous life. You're meeting them for the first time right there where they are. And you're not going to go up and ask them, hey, did you vote for Donald Trump? Like no one's doing that. Yeah. Like you're just walking up, you just meet them for the first time. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But like that doesn't change who they are as a person, you know? Exactly. And I think that this world right now especially like needs that, you know? I mean, like, I don't want to get super political, but, like, obviously it's undeniable how the past couple of days have, like, erupted. Of course. With, like, what's happening in Virginia and all this stuff. Yeah. And, like, that's one thing that I feel like convicted even more now than ever that this podcast is super important, you know? Yeah. I do feel like, especially out there, because one of my roommates is from Richmond,
Virginia, which I even heard on the radio, like they're planning to like march through there, like the KKK, like the white supremacists over there. It's like it can turn into a crazy shit show, and it's just like I feel like what you should do, like in a situation like that, don't even like come at it combative. You know what I mean? That's only creating more conflict within our nation, within the world. You know what I mean? So something like that, because if you see, for example, I like tying everything back to music festivals, whatever. But if you see someone going one way that's not really going with you, you're not gonna like go and say, hey, listen, you guys gotta go see this DJ over here. Like, no, it's like, cool, you guys go this way, I'm gonna go this way. So, for example, when they're gonna go through Richmond, because like it's already said that they're gonna go through there, I would say just like anybody that doesn't agree with it, have another gathering somewhere else, or just like kind of keep it moving. You know what I mean? Like, because some people just are caught in their ways of thinking, and they might not be able to be persuaded towards another way. You know what I mean? So if everybody can just kind of like coexist, I feel like that should be you know how we should handle everything.
Yeah, and I think that having this combative, like, all anti-protest, if you have a protest at a protest, that's exactly what they're expecting to happen. Mm-hmm. And no barriers are going to be broken down, because there's no way that whatever you're yelling across this line is going to make that person just all of a sudden go, oh yeah, you're right,
I'm switching sides right now.
You're right, Black lives do matter. You know, like, you know, or whatever you're yelling across the line, like, it's not going to change the minds of anybody. Yeah. The only thing that's going to actually break down barriers is having like real conversations with real people and realizing like, yo, we can all come together because we're all humans. And one thing that traveling can really do is it breaks down those barriers, man. Yeah. Like when you're in another country and you realize like, we're not all that different, man. Yeah. Like, yeah, there's culture shock. Yeah, there's things they do differently. But when you have an open mind and you're like, okay, this is the way that they do things. So what? Like, that doesn't affect how I live my life. Yeah, as soon as you start encroaching on, like, what I believe, or you start encroaching on, you know, my personal property, or you're not allowing me to do the things I want to do with my life, then yeah, it's a problem. But if you've got neighbors that are Asian and you just don't like Asian people, what does it matter?
Yeah, just chill, stay in your house. Like, don't
stay in your lane, bro. Yeah. Like, they have just as much of a right to be here than you do.
Exactly.
And like, you know, we can go down that rabbit hole for forever. But I mean, I just wanted to bring that up because I think that, you know, in the past couple of days, it's been like such a hotly, you know, I mean, it was one of the worst days in recent years, you know, as far as hatred. Yeah. And like people really showing their true colors as far as racism and stuff. And people say America doesn't have a racist problem, but like there's a lot of fucking racists out there that are like actually hate people.
I feel like, man, I don't know, we can get deep. It's just like, I feel like nobody has been asked to be here. You know what I mean? Like, Andrew, you didn't schedule like, okay, my name's going to be Andrew when I'm born. I'm going to be a white male. Like, you're here. You know what I mean? And this is how I came out. This is how everybody came out. So just like along everybody's journey, just be nice to everybody, because nobody knows like why we're here. They didn't plan on how they look. It's just like, this is the cards I've been dealt. So you should just be able to coexist, man. So, because no one planned it. So.
That is very, very true, man. That's a good way of looking at it, because I think about that all the time. I've never been the type of person that's like, Atlanta strong, bro. I'm proud to be from Atlanta. Like, Atlanta's cool and all, but like, I didn't ask to be born in Atlanta. If I was born in Chicago, I probably just was proud to be born in Chicago, or like, you know, whatever it is. And like, people get so tribal with it, man. Like, they're like, this is our fucking place. When I was younger, everyone around here was fucking white, and all these fucking people came over here, and now they're making my neighborhood all mixed and shit, and we need to preserve this white neighborhood, or whatever it is. And like, they think that whatever it is. But it's like, bro, you could have just as easily been born somewhere else or whatever. Or like these kids that are being brought up in these areas where, it used to be a white neighborhood or whatever. They didn't ask to be born there or whatever.
Yeah.
And my weird thing is like this whole, like people want to say like, oh, well, white privilege, white guilt, all this stuff. And it's like, dude, I didn't ask to be white.
Yeah.
Like, obviously in America, it's not a bad thing to be. Mm-hmm. It's not that I'm complaining about it, but a lot of times people, they want to write you off like, well, you're just white, you just don't understand. And it's like, well, I didn't ask for that. I didn't ask to like not understand. I'm trying to do my best. And it's like people just want to write it off immediately. You know what I mean? They're just like, well, you will never understand. You can't understand. You can't even sympathize. I don't even want your sympathy. Blah, blah, blah.
Teach me, you know what I mean? Like, or just let me like at least try, or like know that I'm trying, like. Yeah. And
another thing too is like, we've weirdly legitimized the struggles of like, it's like, okay, the cisgendered white male or whatever you want to call it has like their opinion matters the least. And then you go down the line, okay, a white female, because she's a female, females are like slightly more oppressed, so her opinion matters a little bit more. And then we've got the black female, and like, oh, well, she's female and she's black, so like she's been oppressed even more. And then we've got the female black midget who's been oppressed even more because she's got a weird thing. And like, and then we've got a female black midget with mental health issues and blah. It's like
continuously,
and then you continue down the line and more and more and more, and like who's more oppressed, whose values are more valuable, like whose thing is worth more in the economy of ideas, like whose opinion is worth more. And it's like, nah, man, like yes, obviously there's some people that are stupid and their opinions are kind of dumb, but like just because someone looks a certain way or has certain experiences doesn't necessarily mean their opinion is more or less valid than like any other person,
Exactly.
And it's just kind of frustrating.
It is, but it's like it's the time that we're living in, and you would think the internet would bring everybody like closer together. It's actually like almost making it like easier to get divided, because like everybody picks like, oh, it's more options now. It's just like, okay, cool, I'm picking this way, and then like you said, people get tribal with it, and it's just like, I don't know. There's times where I'm like, I'd be okay with like the internet shutting down for like a month and just see what happens. Because then it's like, so say, okay, like the whole, like that whole white supremacy, like KKK people that are going through Virginia. Imagine just all internet shutting down, all electricity shutting down. Like, oh fuck, like the guy next to you, like it could be one of those guys. I'm like, hey buddy, like he would have probably asked me for something. I'd probably ask him for something. Like, hey, can I use your phone? Like, I don't know. It would just bring people closer together again. So like that's why I try to get away from technology sometimes, because you get natural experiences with like people. Like what we're doing now, I know we are using like an electronic device, but it's like no, there's no distractions, no TV's on, no phone, and like we're just having a conversation. And like this is cool, and that's why your whole podcast is dope, because people get to experience this. But if we can somehow like, I would even be able to like, I'm okay with like rationalizing the amount of internet use for like the country. So like past 9 o'clock, nobody can use internet. That'd be crazy. Or just making an experiment. Like I'm not saying that should be the way.
Yeah. But like, there's like a weird thing where now people are realizing like how much influence like our phones and stuff have on us. Yeah. I think in the future like people will kind of start to put more boundaries up about that kind of stuff. But having some sort of like national mandate where like no one can use internet at a certain time, people would flip their lid about that. Oh, yeah. But the I think there's a silent majority in a lot of this kind of stuff. People are always like wanting you to stand up and like say something about issues and stand up to this is not right, blah, blah, blah. Which, yes, you should stand up to injustice. You should stand up when you see fucked up things in the world. You should stand up and say, this is wrong. But you also have to put in perspective, like, there is a line where, like, okay, how far are you going to go with that? Because if you're looking for injustice, you can find injustice.
Yeah.
If you're trying to find where someone's being oppressed or or there's wrongful things, you just have to look out your back door. You can find it easily.
Yeah.
So like, where do you draw that line? Like, okay, if you don't say on Facebook that the events in Virginia this weekend were terrible on Facebook, then you're a bad person. You didn't call out evil when you saw it, and you're just a shitty person in general, and blah, blah, blah. And people will get mad about that kind of stuff. They're like, where are you now, white people? Call out your folks. Call out these racist white people. And it's like, what do you think? Of course I don't agree with what they're saying, but like going on Facebook and saying I do not agree with these people, what does that do? None of them are gonna see it, like, and they don't care. Like, just stating my opinions on things is like, okay, fine, but
what you say, like, once you state your opinion, so like, say you keep quiet, then somehow you're wrong. Then you state your opinion, then somehow you're wrong. That's why I just like.
Yeah, that's another thing. Is a lot of these like social justice people, they'll get mad at white people or like white males, especially for stating an opinion. But then they'll also get mad, like you said, for not standing up for what, it's like, well, why don't you say that kind of stuff? Like, if you don't believe this stuff that we think you believe, then why don't you say it? And it's like, because every time we open our mouth, you just get mad at us for something else.
Yeah.
It's like everyone is just trying to find the fault in everybody else. Like, I found this little tiny thing that I can poke, and I'm just going to keep poking it because I know it gets a rise out of people or whatever. And like, there's this silent majority of people that like don't agree with any of this kind of stuff. Most people are pretty nuanced and pretty like in the middle about this.
Yeah.
Like you said, there's a lot of people that are going to go out and do a counter protest and go march on the KKK and yell at them and whatever. That's not going to stop them.
Yeah.
There's even more people that are just going to sit at home and be like you said, if there was no internet or no TV or no media, we wouldn't even know that these dumb people are going to be marching through this city. We'd be at our homes and nothing would have even happened. And like, to be honest, I was at, when all those events went down the other day, I was at work all day. I actually had to work from 9:30 to 11:30, like literally 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. I worked all day long. So while all this shit was going down on Facebook, all this stuff, people were going crazy, I was working.
Yeah.
And none of that affected me. It wasn't like all of a sudden my white senses were tingling like, oh no, there's an imbalance in the white force.
Yeah.
Like, none of that shit was happening. Like, that doesn't happen. Like, nothing was going on. Like, oh shit, racism is happening. Channeling it. Like, that was in another place in the country, another thing happened. Yes, all those events were terrible.
Yeah.
And I wish they didn't happen, because it's terrible when anything like that happens. But like you said, you can't expect anything to change just by fighting, just by going and punching Nazis. Like, that's what people say, like, punch Nazis. When you see racism, when you see white supremacists, just punch them. And it's like,
that's combative, and then it turns into
just
something
fueling their opinion of you.
Yeah.
If you're a white Nazi supremacist, whatever, and you think that all other races are trash and thugs and they're bad for society, and then you guys are going around and punching them in the mouth, then that's just going to solidify what they think even more.
Yeah, and then that racism is just going to escalate. It's going to get even stronger. Mm-hmm. Then it's not going to do anything.
It would actually do more good probably if these protesters are out there. You kind of do like what Jesus said in the Bible, like you turn the other cheek, like go out there and like offer them cold water or something. Like, hey man, like I know you're probably like really thirsty. It's pretty hot out here. Like, do you want like a cold water? What the fuck? Like, that's gonna make people like. I was listening to this podcast the other day with this. It was the Atlanta podcast with my friend Matt B. Davis, who's gonna be on the podcast. Hey. Recorded it yesterday, and so by the time this is released, it'll be already released. Go listen to it. But self-promotion. But one thing that on his podcast, there's a guy named Tim Mack, I think, and he runs a circus. Okay. And he's kind of quirky and weird because like anyone who runs a circus is going to be kind of weird. Yeah. But one thing that he said that he tries to do is like, he tries, like if he sees someone, like for example, he saw this lady that was just kind of looking a little bit depressed at this coffee shop or whatever. She kind of looked a little down. And he had this little magic trick in his pocket. And he went up to her and just like, hey, you want to see a magic trick? And like did it. And then like, oh, cool, here's my card, because he hands out his card everywhere. Like, because you never know when you're going to need like a carnival person or whatever. You never know the connections you can make. And she ended up, she like saw the magic trick and kind of just like, whoa, what? Yeah, that's weird. Gave him kind of like a weird look and then kind of smiled or whatever. And then she emailed him. It was like, I was actually like in a fight with all my roommates, like having a really bad day. And like your magic trick just kind of like snapped me out of my weird funk I was having. And like I went back and like apologized to them and like now we're cool. Like thank you for like kind of snapping me out of that. It's like when you do something, like if you're trying to reverse psychology, like use reverse psychology on it, it's like, what do these KKK people expect all these other races and people that oppose them to do? Yeah. They expect them to go out and counter-protest.
Yeah, so they come out there angry, like, all right.
And they already mentally know, okay, when I see counter-protesters, I'm not even going to let anything they say penetrate my brain. I'm just going to put on my thing, hold my torch, and yell at them. And if they have physically assaulted me or I see violence about to start, I'm going to punch them or whatever. Yeah. But if you go up and you're like, hey man, like I know you're probably thirsty, like here's a cold water, like do you want anything else, like do you need anything to eat, like we got some snacks, like that would just totally like what, like yeah, like my view of who I think you are is like then so it questions confused.
That person like wait a minute, like what, yeah,
exactly,
it builds something up within them that might be able to make them change the way they think, but who knows, it's like,
well, because also if I was to go do that, they might be thinking like, oh, this guy's a supporter of the movement. He's handing out free waters to us. Like, he's not marching with us, but he's, like, supporting us. But if it was, like, a black guy or something handing them out, obviously they oppose. Yeah. You know, obviously you should be hating this person. This person hates you, but it's kind of like what Jesus said, like, love your enemies as yourself. Like, do something kind for them. That's the only thing that's going to, like, actually change that. And who knows? That little act of kindness to that one person, it might not convert him to not be a KKK member anymore, yeah. But that's gonna like stick with him in the back of his brain. Like, yeah. You know, I do hate black people, but there was that one guy that like handed me a water bottle when I was really thirsty. Like that guy was all right. Yeah. You know. Yeah. And like it's just weird.
Yeah, I always try to like. It usually takes a lot. Now getting back to like kind of the real world, like if you do see somebody, for example, that just kind of reminded me when you said coffee shop because this happened like 2 days ago. We're at Octane Coffee, me and my buddy, and this lady walks in. She was like, "Can somebody just please give me a glass of water? I'm just really thirsty." Like she wasn't asking for any money or anything like that, and like everybody just like stopped and like looked at her, and like no one made a move, like no one did anything, and like it was just like silent for a second. Even like the people that were working there were just kind of like, you know, like she also was asking for was like water. The person I was with, he like just jumped up, like made a cup of water and like gave it to her. But like everybody was just like, that was so nice. I feel like, what the hell? Like it was just like a random kind of random act of kindness. I feel like it usually takes somebody that like, you know, has a deeper thought process to do something like that. So going back to that magician guy, it was just like kind of cool that he saw, you know, the funk out of that chick, was like, hey, you know, I'm gonna go try to do something, try to make her feel better.
Yeah. There's like something weird too about when someone just comes in like, can someone get me a glass of water? Yeah. Like everyone's like, oh shit, like is this lady like, is she like known around this place to be like a bad person? Like, should I help her? Should we like kick her out? Everyone's waiting for someone to make the first move. And it's like, no one wants to be that guy because everyone probably watched your friend do it and they're like, oh shit, like he's going to do it.
Yeah, and then after he sat down, everybody was like, oh, good job.
Yeah, like very nice. But I think also like a weird thing too about that situation is she kind of approached it a weird way, just like yelling that out in the middle of a coffee shop. Like if I was that person, you know, I would be, you know, who knows, I don't know what her situation was. Maybe she wasn't even like homeless or anything. Like maybe she was just like really weird and wanted water. Like who knows? But I mean, if I was in that situation, I'd like walk up to a table and be like, hey, like a lot of times when you see homeless people, they're like, hey man, can I get some change? And they just seem like a crackhead and you're like, nah man, sorry. Yeah. But like if someone walked up to you and like, hey, sorry to bother you. I'm like super thirsty. Is there any chance you could like get me a glass of water or something? Like I've been like really, you know, that's gonna go over a lot more than someone walking up. Hey man, I'm super thirsty, man. I haven't been drinking water in 10 days, man. I just need some water. And you're like, dude, I'm sorry, man. Like, you know, whatever.
Another day, 11 days, brother. No.
Yeah, sorry. No, but you know, it's weird. It's all about the approach.
Of course, but I just feel like it's more so of like, the mob mentality. So when everybody's just waiting for someone to make that that first move, it's like that's kind of where where it comes back to all eyes on us. It's like, all right, I was literally just getting ready to stand up until the person went before. But it's like, why are we not ready just to always pull the trigger? Like, yeah, I'm ready to help you, you know? Mm-hmm. It's just like, that was one thing I really wanted to like, I really took something with me. I was just like, why did no one make a move? You know, even myself, I even questioned myself, like, why didn't I get up fast enough? Like, she could, and then when she got her water, she was just like, she was actually like normal after that. She was like, oh, thank you so much. It wasn't like she was like, had like ripped up clothes. She didn't look like she was like a crackhead or anything like that. That's why I was kind of like, no.
It's just like a normal lady needed some water.
Yeah. But
still kind of weird that she just like yelled that out.
In there. Yeah.
Can someone please some water? That's hilarious. No, but like one thing that I was trying to teach my brother when we were overseas, it's like a lot of times when he would like talk to someone, you know, or anybody that goes over there that's an American or whatever, they'd be like, excuse me, do you speak English? Okay, I'm trying to get to this place and I'm really lost or whatever. And like that person's just gonna be like, whoa. First of all, I've got to set my brain into English mode if I have an English mode. Yeah. Hold up. Wait, what? You're annoying me. Like, I'm gonna tell you the wrong direction. You know, like all that kind of weird stuff is going through their brain. So like, when I approach someone that I'm not sure they speak English or whatever and I need help or whatever, I almost kind of like stutter on purpose. Like I'm like, excuse me, I'm trying to go to this place. So they're like, okay, what is this? Oh, okay, I get it. English? He doesn't speak English. Okay, like I'm gonna try to help him understand. And so it's like you slow it down. You try to use little words, like you're not saying like I'm just like super lost and I don't really know where I'm going. Like all those words are unnecessary. You can be like, I'm lost. Where do I go? Yeah. You know, you can break it down into way more simple things and lose all the weird words in the middle. Like, yeah, man, this food is super good, and people are like, what? Yeah, man, this hella lit. This food is like hella dank, bro. Yeah. And it's like, no, you can say like this food is really good or whatever, and they'll probably understand that way better than this food is hella dank
like,
or whatever.
Not sign language, but just, you know, good. Like you point at it, like give it like the okay sign. This is good. Nod your head, and like they'll understand. You know what I mean?
Totally. Like you were saying with your cousins in Tanzania, like. You guys didn't speak the same language, but you could kind of relate through body language and stuff.
Dude, did I tell you the story when my dad left me with my aunt?
No.
Oh, dude, check this out. This is when I first went to Africa. I was like 15. And went out there, and my aunt, she's like way older. Like she's like my dad's older sister. And he was like, all right, I'll be right back. And he just like dipped off. So it's just like me and my aunt like staring at each other in this living room.
And she didn't speak English?
No, not a lick of English. And like this is like, I didn't really know that much Swahili, so I was kind of just looking at it like, And it was like really silent, and I was just like, and there's no TV. It was probably like that was like one of the most awkward times of my life, because it's like, oh man, like this is like my aunt, and like can't even like talk to her. We're just looking at each other, and she's just smiling at me. I'm just like, this is cool, man. But like I was like, fuck. I'm pretty hungry though. I'm like pointing at my stomach. I was just like, don't even know. Just pointing at my stomach. I was like doing all this sign language, and she just like followed me, and like, cause my dad left for like umpteen hours. Who knows? Like he left in the morning, came back at like evening. So like throughout the whole day, just like we're hanging out, and like we're just forcing like this sign language that we both made up that we both can understand. And like it was actually kind of lit.
That's cool. That's really weird how like you can just make it work even without the language. It makes sense though.
Because it's like that's what I'm saying. It goes back to like we're all pretty much the same. We're all humans. It's like it's about that time. Like hungry, kind of hot in here, right?
Yeah.
If you want to go outside, like it's just it's like human nature of like what we are, what we do. You know?
Yeah, man. Like it's only by chance that I wasn't born a Korean in South Korea or something, like, you know, or born in India or something. Like, people just want to say, look at this guy. He looks different than me. He acts different than me. He talks different than me. He might as well be a different species than me. And so I don't want anything to do with that. You know, I'm just going to go stay over here in my lane and do me. And if he tries to come over here, then I'm going to throw up a fit because I don't like that. And, like, it's just so silly. Yeah. It's very, very silly. And I think, like I said, the majority of people are, like, pretty cool about everything. There's just, like, a bunch of stupid, shitty people out there that want to ruin a lot of stuff for people. Like, one thing that Joe Rogan says is, like, let's say in a crowd of 100 people, let's take 100 people.
Yeah.
We're being extremely generous here. One of them is a fucking idiot. Like, one of them is an idiot. Like, let's just be real. That's generous. Like, out of 100 people, one of them is an idiot. So, if in the city of Atlanta, we've got 5 million people in the metro area.
You're going to run into
We've got, what is that, 50,000 complete idiots, you know?
Yeah.
Or whatever. Is my math right with that? 5 million, 50,000?
Ooh, is it?
Maybe. Divided by 100? Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm right. Yeah. Someone fact check me on that. Fake news. But anyways, think about it. Like, think about how many idiots there are. 50,000. If there was a gathering of all those idiots, it would make the news. Yeah. And all this kind of stuff. I feel like that's just what's happening. Yeah. You got a whole bunch of idiots that have a backwards ass way of thinking. They all gather together with their idiot ways, like a blind leading the blind kind of shit.
It's documented. It's all over TV and everything now. Yeah. So now it's a huge...
Now it's like a legit thing, but it's like, hey, let's just all put it in perspective. We could think that these people are evil. We could also think, which probably true, a lot of them are probably evil. Or we could probably think that a lot of them are just fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of them are probably just really misguided and stupid. And chances are, like, probably there's a few of them that are actually very evil, racist people, and they're kind of the leaders of it. And there's also a lot of dumb, blind people that are just straight up just following that, and they just are regurgitating and repeating whatever they say. And like, yeah, he's right. We do have to preserve white people. We do have to make sure this neighbor... Why? No, you don't have to. What are you talking about? And so, yeah, it's just very, very, very silly. But this is life. We got to navigate the stupid people.
Yeah. I mean, and I think, like, I don't know, like, I feel bad for people that are kind of stuck there. I've seen some people, like, get stuck in, well, I don't even know how people get stuck in, like, a city, but so there's people that are, like, in Richmond, Virginia, or wherever, you know, that are just like, well, this is my situation, man. It sucks that I live here. You know what I mean? But I'm like, you could change. If you don't like what's going on there and you can't change what's going on there,
this is my home.
This is my city. Yeah, you can jump up and you can get out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're here alone in this world. You know, find your happiness. And if it's like you're looking around and it's just like hell everywhere, and you're just like, oh man, this is what the world's like. No, like, create your world. Okay, cool. This is not where I'm going to be at, dude. Like, I'm about to make this move over here.
Yeah, and it's like if you want to go hang out with a whole bunch of white people, move to North Dakota. Like, seriously, like, you can find places where there's not very many other races. Like, you just can.
Yeah.
Or, like, try to figure out a way to move to, like, you know, somewhere in, like, Sweden or something. There's a whole bunch of white people there, too. Like, if you really, really are racist.
And you're just like, I gotta have,
and, like, I get it. You want to preserve your place. Like, this was traditionally our thing. But it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't sympathize with it. I'm calling them out publicly. So all you people can't yell at me. I'm calling them out. But anyways, dude, so let's go back to what you're doing. So you were saying, like, now you're in this new spot. You're, like, starting to film stuff in the kitchen and all this Meal Prep Papi and all that. Oh, yeah. What's next for Meal Prep Papi? Like, what's new? So I'm starting this whole challenge thing where I'm going to have, like, my viewers kind of, like, give me different challenges, and each week is going to be something new. So our first episode was just... I would have to meal prep for my roommates, and I had $30 to meal prep for an entire week for 3 grown men. Actually was able to do it. It came out to $28 and like 60 cents or some shit. No way, $28 to feed you guys for a whole week? Yeah, but it's not like my service, like my actual meal prep service. Like, it's a customized meal plan. You know, separate boxes you eat. Like, but here it was just like make enough food for us to, you know, last Monday to Friday. And we actually, like, had a little bit of, like, left over. But think about it, like,
all three of us, we all our side hustle, we're servers, so we get food at work. The only time we're at home is like when we're just kind of like coming and going, you know. So it's really just a bite to eat when you're here.
Nice.
And then, you know, late at night when we're all just kind of hanging out and shooting the shit, something else for us to eat. So it's just like, instead of like always, okay, I got to come home and leave, and then I'm going to stop at Chick-fil-A on the way to wherever I'm going, or, hey, you guys want to order pizza, or like, you guys want to go out to dinner? It's like, we're saving more money. We've got this thing. Yeah. So it's really off of a saving money base. And I'm like, hey, this could be something cool. So like, it's so funny how like ideas spark, you know what I mean?
Totally.
Under $30 challenge, that was just because it was like, all right, let's just like try to not, you know, eat out this week. And now it's like, dude, this could be something really dope, you know?
Yeah. And then you turn it into kind of like a fun thing.
Mm-hmm. My thing is like my next one, so I got the idea from this girl, Ashley Largo. She's super awesome. She's a second grade teacher out in Gwinnett. She hit me up and was like, hey, you should probably do something like go to the local farmer's market. So the challenge is all your meals have to be from the farmer's market. And just each week is going to be something new, something creative. And, you know, we're going to document that and do some other stuff with that. So
that's tight, dude.
Yeah, man.
That's really awesome.
Just try to be innovative.
Where are you posting these videos? Like on YouTube or on Instagram or what?
YouTube. So there's one on Instagram right now, but that's kind of just like the promo for it.
Yeah.
The full video is going to be on YouTube. I haven't even started the YouTube channel yet, but like,
nice.
It's funny because like you guys are hearing what I'm about to create next. So
and now you got the pressure.
Yeah.
You've released that energy into the world. Now you got to make it happen.
One reason I'm saying it, baby.
There we go.
Let's go. About to be president. Let's get it.
Catch me in a Lambo in 5 years. 2 years actually. Sorry, misspoke.
No, but that's the plan, and I'm glad I'm able to share it on your show and like, you know, let everybody know that this is the process that's going to happen.
That's cool. People are interested in that kind of stuff these days.
Yeah.
Because people are trying to eat healthier and save money. That's awesome.
Of course.
Another one. You know, we've been going for like almost 2 hours, which is pretty solid. I wanted to ask you about your like training styles right now, because I know you've been kind of like going through a little bit of like transition as far as like, you know, with a bunch of stuff with life in general, and now you're living in a new spot. Is your fitness stuff kind of like staying the same, or like are you kind of switching up the mentality at all?
So when I sold my condo, I actually sold it a little bit faster than I should have. That's another conversation for another day, dude. Because I wish I would have bought a house instead of a condo. Either way, whatever. That's something else for another day. Actually, no, we can save it for right now. Like whatever. So instead of like when I bought a condo, it was more so, I just want to, you know, be in the city. I just want a high rise, man. Like bachelor lifestyle. Like financially now, like if anybody's listening, your first place that you own, I recommend like getting a house and like maybe like renting out the rooms. You know what I mean? Then you can get some lucrative like income. Like it's a lucrative situation. You know what I mean? You're getting money everywhere.
Because you were having problems. You tried to Airbnb your place and like there was problems with the management. They were like, you can't do that. And then like they found your Airbnb and like all this stuff.
It was a nightmare, man. So
and didn't like a guy go to the front desk and be like, I'm here for Airbnb, and you're like,
dude, he was the reason like everything like went under. And I tried to even like still finesse it. Like the management called me like, yeah, we have Brian down here. He said it's here for his Airbnb. I was like, oh, Brian, that's my friend. They're like, no, he said Airbnb. I was like, oh crap, dude.
Like, nah, he's just messing with me, dude. Like we had this inside joke where like I'm his Airbnb because he stays with me sometimes, and he's like, no,
right now.
He told me like he showed me the app. It's like on there, and you're like, God damn it, Brian.
Anybody that's trying to do something like for like their first place, I recommend a house for sure. But yeah, throughout the whole transition, man, like I moved, and then right when I sold the condo, I was like, crap, I didn't really even look for a place for me. So like I crashed with two of my buddies and crashed with them for like a month. And I was like, damn, this is like not a situation I really want to be in. You know what I mean? Like this wasn't in the plan, you know what I mean? And that's the thing about life. It's like, it just throws you everywhere and you just have to adapt. And so I had to adapt for a little bit and ended up over here. So throughout my training, like it was kind of, I went a month, dude. A month without training.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, crap, dude. Like, is this where I plateau and just this where I become fat and become, you know, one of those guys?
Lethargic and obese.
Nah, man. I was like, I can't let this happen. So like, I would here and there, kind of like jump in and out, like bullshit routines. And it was like, damn, like this is my thing. Like this is me. So finally, I think it was more so I just didn't have a structure. And I think that's where people, once you have everything structured, that's when it's easier to your thought process becomes easier. You think clearer, and then new ideas come, and that's when you start getting the progress, success. Everything comes after that. It's all structure. Your foundation has to be there. So I didn't have foundation. I was like, crap. I had all these boxes at my friend Teddy's house. So long story short, training is definitely back to where it has been. I actually feel like I'm getting back to almost like where I was as an athlete.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yesterday I trained with the Kennesaw strength and conditioning coach. She trains the rugby team. It's a chick, and she's like beast mode. Her name's Caitlin Hensley. Yeah,
nice.
She's like definitely beast mode. But yeah, we definitely killed
I've heard
it.
that last name before.
Possibly. She's like stationed out in like Gwinnett.
Huh.
And then like she kind of does a little travel. If you see her, you probably know her. But yeah, dude, like getting like doing a lot of cardio, doing a lot of basketball, no injuries. Like I'm feeling really, really good right now.
That's
in a
awesome.
brand new area, especially.
Are you still like lifting a lot and stuff, or?
Not like anything, like not maxing out. Haven't maxed out in literally years.
Yeah,
like,
there's no point.
Almost like who's doing
Only
that?
to know your baseline. Like
Yeah.
if you've got, like, for example, there's certain programs that like base all of your exercises on what your max is. So like if you're trying to figure that out, then cool. But like there's no real point in maxing out.
I do miss lifting like heavy ass weight. Your boy's beast mode for a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, for real. No, but that's cool, man, because that's one thing that I was talking with my buddy Connor Peterson about. He's like super big in like the ninja stuff and like OCR races and all that stuff, obstacle course races. And I just like, for the past, I don't know, few months, like I've been in a weird funk. Like I did this like Tough Mudder thing, and so then like I got not injured necessarily, but I was kind of like beat for like a few days after that, and I was having some like little bit of like back pain a little bit, so I'm like, maybe I should just kind of chill for a bit. And then it just kind of like snowballed from there. I was like not really working out as much and like working a ton, and then the podcast released, and so that was taking up literally every single bit of free time.
Yeah.
So then like once that happened, I was like sitting at my computer all the time, hunched over, and I was having like some back pain and like all this stuff. And like I was like, okay, so where do I go from here? I need to start getting back into this.
Yeah.
I can kind of go the more like bodybuilding route where I'm trying to just like get big. I could go the powerlifting route because that's kind of more fun. Like, okay, cool, I'm going to try to lift some heavy ass weight, and like that's fun too. And then I could kind of go this like more ninja kind of route. It's not necessarily ninja in a way that typically people would think, but I think people now, it's kind of in the zeitgeist, like this ninja course kind of style training. And that's what Connor was like trying to say. It was like, dude, like if you go this like bodybuilding route, yeah, it's cool, but like a lot of times you're gonna have like imbalances, or like, a lot of times you look big, but a lot of times like if you're prepping for a contest or something, you're not even really healthy necessarily. You're just like huge.
Yeah.
But like you're dehydrated and like you feel like shit all the time. You're starving yourself pretty much, like all this stuff. And then like the powerlifting route, like there's a lot of injuries in that world too. You're lifting some real heavy weight, and if you lift incorrectly or you use the wrong form or whatever, you can really get yourself out of the game for a while.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, this ninja stuff is like so awesome because number one, it's functional because like you're literally like lifting yourself up, jumping on stuff, like climbing on stuff.
Yeah.
And like since you're working your entire body, you're not going to have those imbalances. Like you don't have to like necessarily target these weird places of imbalances. You just do the exercise and they kind of like balance themselves out because you're having to use those weird muscles that like aren't always used, those weird like stabilizers and stuff.
That makes sense.
So I'm kind of thinking I'm going to try to train more that route, and I've been trying to like play more tennis and like just be more active and stuff because
Exactly. That's the thing. Like I say train like an athlete because athletes are never just like the most like there's a lot of football players, like of course they look strong and everything like that, but they're never like how you said, like these bodybuilders. Like they're not just walking around huge beasts that are cut up everywhere, shredded. Like they are flexible, they're fast, they jump high, they're strong, they're like a huge just like machine, you know what I mean? And that's kind of what I want to be. I want to be flexible. I want to still be able to run fast, and like be strong. be able to do anything. You know what I mean?
Flexibility is like a big one that people don't focus on a lot.
Yeah.
Especially when they get into fitness, they're all about like getting strong. So they don't even like care about like the flexibility. But like if you don't stay flexy, like you're gonna have a lot of issues.
Yeah.
Going down the road.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to like who is it? Kimmy Yoga. She's a yoga instructor out here in Atlanta. She's really dope. She just went to Bali not too long ago, but she she kind of motivated me to like kind of get back into yoga, because when I ran track, like we used to do yoga a lot because, you know, a flexible muscle is a faster muscle and helps you get faster. But just being able to like do yoga and still be cool with it, you know, still be like, you know, I train hard and like still do yoga and like, yeah, that's what I do. I want to get back into that. So
yeah. I've been trying to do yoga like once a week. I kind of think I need to go up to like 2 times a week. But I've been doing like restorative yoga, where it's like more like fairly easy stuff, but you're holding the poses for like really long time.
Yeah.
Whereas like I think traditional yoga, like it's hard. Like it's actually difficult like the whole time. A lot of the yoga I've been going to, just like trying to get it, like ease my way into it. It's not necessarily easy, because there's still some stuff that's like you can take it to level 1, or there's like always a variant where you can make it harder. So like I'm not anywhere close to being all the way at the hardest stuff, but like I've been trying to do more yoga too, because I think it's important to stay flexible.
Of course, like especially like getting older, like you're not getting any more flexible. Like this is the time it's gonna start stiffening up. Like get flexible.
That's a very good point. I think a lot of times people think like, oh, one day I'll do that, or like one day I'll care about, or you know, like whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Like when I was younger and I was running like cross country, I remember we would like run like a couple miles as our warm up, and then like we would stretch or whatever. And there would be some guys there that could like put their palms like on the ground, like leaning over, doing a hamstring stretch or whatever. And I was just like, my hamstrings are so tight, they would not flex that far. And I'm kind of like, yeah, it's cool, but like one day I'll get that flexible. But like, what have I been doing in the past 5 years to make that a reality? Like nothing.
Am I even as flexible as I was when I was running cross country?
Yeah, no. and that's the thing. I think that like my friend Connor, he's just like trying to be the most well-balanced athlete he can be, doing rock climbing, doing running, doing ninja stuff, you know, all kinds of stuff. Like that's
Connor who?
Connor Peterson. Have you met him before? He's really cool.
No.
He was on my podcast, but he was the guy that is like getting me more into like ninja stuff and stuff like that. But
okay.
He's a really cool guy. But you should go listen to our podcast. I'm gonna probably have him on again soon.
There's a Connor from Lifetime. I don't know if you remember him.
Oh yeah.
When you said rock climb, I was like, Connor?
No, not that Connor. But
okay.
But yeah, like just trying to be more well-rounded, I guess, as an athlete, because the more things you can add to your repertoire or whatever, like the more well-balanced you'll be and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
But
plus, if the zombie apocalypse come, bro, like I'm trying to, bro.
That is a weird thing that you have to think about. Like, what am I preparing for? Like, why am I trying to make myself such a... Besides just trying to have longevity and, like, live longer.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you're just trying to, like, live longer and stuff, like, yo, like, we've talked about this before. Like, CrossFit is not really the move, bro. Like, you're going to get some injuries. Like, this is going to, like... Yeah, it's cool, but, like... it's arguable if you're going to, like, live longer and all that kind of stuff.
I'm trying to do some parkour, you know what I mean? Like... These zombies bust in here. I'm jumping on top of buildings. I'm flying, bro. Like, I'm out of here.
Dude, that's the sick thing about Ninja Quest. They have a parkour section.
Oh, seriously?
And a foam pit.
Have you seen that tag? That, like, ultimate tag or whatever?
No.
Oh, dude. I'll send you the video after this. But it's like all these parkour people. It's like ultimate
I've seen that.
Tag.
Yeah. And they're all playing tag, and it's like a giant epic video.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. That looks pretty intense.
So sick. Yeah, but anyways, some of that stuff is intimidating, man, because like if you do the wrong thing, you're getting a bar to the face, or you're smashing your toes on something, or
it's
whatever.
Definitely a wrap. My buddy Jack Payne, he's like a gymnastics coach, and he like has this whole company where he goes tumbling across like the world. Yeah. So like he was just in Amalfi, so in Italy.
Yeah.
Like just beautiful. Like jumping off like cliffs, like doing all these crazy backflips, and like I don't know, but. That's kind of where I want to be. Like, I want to be able to just do some flips, you know what I mean? And, like, still be flexible and, like, just agile as hell, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, you definitely need to come to Ninja Quest then with us.
Yeah,
it's so fun, man.
I might actually come this Wednesday, too. Like, I might just be like, I'm not coming to work.
Yeah. Yeah, it starts at, like, 8, so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's super fun. But, dude, anything else you want to say to the peeps or anything?
No. Next time we talk, I know YouTube channel will be up, but if you want to kind of keep in contact, Instagram is Meal Prep _Papi. You'll take a look at that, take a look at the journey of where we're taking the business towards. And if you're ever in Cabbagetown, come and say what's up to your boy.
There we go. Nice. Well, that's pretty much it, everybody. Anything else?
No, man. Thanks for having me again.
Dude, of course. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We didn't even talk about this, but, like, you were the first person on the podcast. And, like, that was a big milestone, you know? Like, that was actually, like, the first episode. And so I'm glad to have you back on again, man. You're going to have to be a recurring guest.
Hey.
There's definitely some people that I'm like, okay, like, it's time to kind of, like, get these people back on and, like, do some more podcasts with them because people really enjoyed it.
Residential guest, baby.
There we go. Yeah, like Face Nectar.
Yeah. All right, guys.
All right, see you, peeps. There we go, folks. That's our show. If you want to follow Adam on Instagram, he's at Meal Prep _Papi. Papi. Like, I Papi. And if you live in the Atlanta area and you want a better way of eating clean or you want personal training, you can go to mealpreppapi.com and check out his menu of affordable options. Go do it, folks. You owe it to yourself. Episode 38 is up next with the great Sheen Dar. And no lie, Sheen is one of the people that I've really wanted to have on this podcast for a long time. She's one of those people that I've known for a while from the electronic music scene, but I had never really gotten the opportunity to have a conversation with her and really sit down, you know, and have a extended conversation. And when I started this podcast, she was on my list of potential guests from the beginning because she is just so gosh darn interesting, and she's really hard to put in a box. She's always trying to shatter the mold that people think she fits into. And if I had to narrow it down, she is, a bodybuilder, a promoter, social media personality, a very hard worker, and I'm sure I'm leaving out a bunch of other stuff, but she recently took home first place in her first official bodybuilding competition. She's constantly working to perfect her health. We had a great time talking about all kinds of fun stuff, so you don't want to miss that. Seriously, one of my most anticipated episodes so far, and I was super duper stoked to have her on the podcast, so that episode will be coming very, very soon. If you want to support the podcast, you can go to iTunes and leave me a review of the 5-star flavor. Seriously, if you want to help me out, go to iTunes, rate it 5 stars. I'm still trying to get into the new and noteworthy section on iTunes. I really don't understand the rules of that fully because it seems like in the iTunes rules, it says you can only get in there when you're like really new, like in the first 3 months, and we've passed that now. But I've also seen podcasts jump in the new and noteworthy section that are not that new. So please, please, please go to iTunes, rate it 5 stars. Even if you don't listen on iTunes, like I don't even listen to my podcast on iTunes. I hate iTunes. But iTunes just so happens to be the number one place where people find and discover podcasts. So it's really, really helpful. If you've been enjoying this content, please, please, please go to the iTunes store and rate it 5 stars and tell me what you like, what you don't like, any constructive criticism there. And also just sharing the podcast with your friends is super, super helpful. Word of mouth is really the most powerful form of advertisement. So please spread the good word if you really like the show. And if you have any requests for guests, I would really love to hear your suggestions. I love meeting new people, and making new connections is really important to me and also important for the longevity of this show. I have a lot of really cool guests lined up for the future, but I'm always down for suggestions. And I love having guests that I can learn from, like people that, know things that I don't know, because I love learning. And if you want to follow me or ask me questions, you can find me at my website, andrewdeitsch.com. That's Andrew, DEITSCH.com, where I have links to all my social media handles and accounts and all that good stuff. I think that's it. Thanks for listening, everybody. I really, really appreciate you if you're hearing the sound of my voice right now. It means you made it to the end of the episode. Congratulations. You deserve a cookie. But seriously, you guys are the best. Episode 38 coming out soon. And until then, I'll see you later.